10:05, good morning from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center, day 2 of Titans training camp in the Robert Saleh era. I'm Lucas Panzica. Practice started yesterday for training camp, and Cam Ward met with the media afterwards, detailing what it's like to go through his second camp as an NFL quarterback.
Way different, from system to players to just my knowledge of, being an NFL quarterback has been way better. I think the staff that we hired, both sides of the ball, has really been helpful for, the players, what we want to do and, making it easy for us so we go play fast. It's going to be an exciting time, exciting camp, in a good season.
Robert Saleh met with the media this morning before practice and declared that offensive tackle J.C. Latham will be taken off the physically unable to perform list today, and that Calvin Ridley will practice fully today after doing limited work yesterday dealing with a stomach bug. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
All right, it's day number 2 here out here at it's not Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. I got that wired in my brain. It's the Titans practice facility either way, and it is day 2 of Titans training camp. We've just talked to Robert Saleh. Ben Jones is going to co-host a little bit today. It's good to see Benny as always. Mary Annie's going to stop by. They're taking in the sights and the sounds of the practice field here. We've got J.C. Latham off PUP, as Lucas mentioned, which is a positive sign, though he is not a full participant today. Calvin Ridley will be back after dealing with a stomach bug. No word yet if he was impacted by the Taco Bell lettuce. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you would like to participate throughout the course of the show, you are more than welcome to do so. Robert, Lucas, me, Kirby's here. Everybody's here with you until 1 o'clock. Wan'Dale Robinson will be on the show today, and I'm looking forward to that conversation. We go a little back-to-back wide receivers, new to us wide receivers.
Yeah, enjoyed hearing him talk yesterday. A bit cruel to have him step to the podium immediately after Jeffrey Simmons.
Just in terms of a size comparison.
Let's pull up the transition because when you watch the presser on the Titans YouTube page, it just cuts from Jeff to Wan'Dale, and it looks like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Like, it looks like somebody shrunk a human being, which you'd much rather Wan'Dale be the diminutive figure that he is for his position as a slot wide receiver, but the comedy of it was great. I enjoyed hearing all the players that spoke yesterday. It's interesting hearing guys that are here for the first time, like Wan'Dale Robinson and John Franklin Myers, that don't sound like they're playing for the Titans for the first time. And JFM described it as, being at a new school, but you've got all your friends from your old school there, so it doesn't really feel like you're at a new school.
That's kind of like you and me today. Look how short you look. That's tough. What happened? Are you shrinking?
That's called, what's the word? Perspective scaling.
I want to ask Ben. I don't know if Ben saw the picture of Lawan and Joe Alt that was making rounds yesterday. Did you see that? Joe Alt towers over Taylor Lewan. Lewan called him a zoo animal. So what was the term that you used just now? What perspective?
Perspective scaling.
Scaling.
Position yourself closer to the camera to pretend like you're taller.
Yes, famously.
Meanwhile, Jeffrey Simmons,
not the 3 inches of height difference,
is a gargantuan human being. Like, look at this transition.
Let's see it. All right, so you're not watching this on Zone TV. Oh my God,
Jeff Wan'Dale.
Oh no. It's okay, little guy. Well, we'll look forward to Wan'Dale Robinson up here after Titans practice concludes today. It was a lot of different information. Lucas, you had to leave early for a soccer show?
Yeah, we chatted with Nashville SC GM Mike Jacobs on NSC Backstage, available wherever you get your podcast.
So we had a lot of conversations about Cam Ward, his podium availability. I don't know if you got the opportunity to watch or hear or see any of the clips from that, and I'm sure you're familiar with the gist of it. It's welcome back to training camp. It's how do you plan to improve in year 2. He's pretty adamant. I think this is pretty interesting. He's adamant. He comes off as adamant that he doesn't have to change anything to continue to ascend as a player. And I'm sure there's some truth to that, right? Because they've already talked about not messing with his throwing motion. Throwing motion comes up a lot. when you're talking about quarterbacks. Footwork is a different element of that, right? And so they are working with him on his footwork, but not necessarily on his throwing motion. And had a pretty good day at practice yesterday. I believe Jimmy had him as, I think it was 11 of 16 in team drills and 7-on-7 combined. He had 2 touchdown passes. Was not as good in the red zone, but did throw both touchdown passes in the red zone drill. And I'm sure Titans fans saw the highlights of the Carnell Tate touchdown reception on social media yesterday.
I just love hearing Cam Ward talk. Like, that dude... It sounds, and we talked about this last year too, but is there a rookie/second-year player that sounds less like a rookie/second-year player than Cam Ward?
Oh,
like I just.
Who am I comparing him to? Like J.J. McCarthy and
yeah, like
the like.
I mean, I've
never heard a Tyler Shuck press conference. I must admit.
Yeah, me neither. But like we've seen it here. The Titans have been through the ringer when it comes to bringing in quarterbacks, looking for that future franchise quarterback. Marcus Mariota, obviously beloved in the building, but
sweet baby angel,
especially in the early days, was never fully comfortable with the media.
His mother made him apologize to us because I think he said damn or something like that.
Right, where Cam Ward ain't apologizing for any of that stuff. Will Levis kind of had this sort of, I don't know, his energy at the podium was a bit chaotic, a little bit like his play when he was the starting quarterback.
Well, you didn't know what he was going to say, and then he's talking about rewiring his brain.
I finally finished the quarterback series on Netflix last night, and Cam Ward, easily the most entertaining of any of the guys that they rolled through in that series. He's so unintentionally funny and kind of has this authoritative nature and way about him and self-confidence that make it really easy to buy into him as your future franchise quarterback if you're a Titans fan.
I think it's funny, the juxtaposition of his personality and who the Titans have been trying to be as an organization, because they're trying to, new Titans, right? We've talked about new Titan stuff, brand new, shiny stadium, all these different things, clean cut operation, new uniforms, all these different things. And then you got Cam, who's just blunt, honest, not necessarily worried about the PR side of things, right? He's just going to tell you how he feels about it. I think that kind of, I like the dynamic of it. I just think it's an interesting juxtaposition of them as an organization versus him as the face of the organization now, which is, of course, what they hope that he will become.
I like how just unfazed he is by every question that gets thrown at him. Like, he doesn't have an uncomfortable moment at the podium because he doesn't care. He's just going to answer the question. Yesterday...
would you care if you were standing up there and being asked questions like Cam's getting asked?
I don't know. We see players shy away from stuff like that or get uncomfortable or maybe get offended at certain things. He kind of just laughs and brushes it off. Yesterday, Jared's question about the "we ask" comments and you saying
I thought he handled it really well.
He handled it very well. Yeah. Who are you? What's your name? That's a good question. I like that question. Where a lot of guys would just kind of immediately put the shield up, right? Yeah. Like immediately get defensive. He does not care.
I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, exactly.
That was in the off season. Now we're focused on this season. Like whatever.
And I love that he has this recognition even as a young player that the things he says at the podium, yes, will resonate and it matters in terms of how he's viewed in the public eye and all of that, but it has nothing to do with what's going to happen on the football field. Like nothing. It means nothing to what the Titans are going to be on the football field, and he has this intimate understanding of that I appreciate.
Well, I don't think it's completely irrelevant to what happens on the football field.
It's completely irrelevant to what happens on the football field.
In what sense?
What happens at that podium is completely irrelevant to what happens on the grass.
I think that couldn't be less true.
Okay.
You're asking questions about things that happen on the grass.
I'm saying whatever he says at the podium has no impact on what happens on the football field. Like none. And saying otherwise is like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, yes, we ask questions because we want to learn about what happened on the football field.
Yes.
But I feel like Cam Ward knows that he can just say whatever he feels because it doesn't matter in terms of what the results are going to be. That if he goes out and he does
down and tells you can't say "we ass" about the football team. And
sure,
like
but
that.
Again, that's all off field public stuff,
but it's
PR
all,
stuff.
That's a quarterback. The quarterback, all of it matters. All of it, all the time, because he's being tested at every turn.
It doesn't matter.
Being tested at the podium.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying it has nothing to do with how he does his job on the field, which ultimately is the only thing that matters.
For him, maybe. For Levis, I think that was a different conversation.
Yes, because Levis let it bleed out. He let one thing bleed into another, it felt like, and that's what I'm saying, is Cam Ward has that wall up, that it doesn't matter. He's just going to do what he does on the field, and he knows that those actions are the only things that actually matter, that will actually speak for him.
No, that's worth monitoring, right, to see if that ever changes. And I don't think there's any reason to believe that it would, because he seems to be hardwired that way, which is the thing that's the thing that I question about him the absolute least, that he is mentally cut out for what this job entails at every level, even through the struggles. And God knows there were struggles last year. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you want to jump in, we'd be happy to have you. Like I said, Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be up here with us in the noon hour, and we'll talk to him about working with Cam Ward and Jaxson Dart. The differences, kind of learning a new quarterback. He's played with several quarterbacks throughout the course of his NFL career, now on a second contract in Tennessee, and looking to make an impact. And maybe we can ask him who he thinks will lead the team in receptions this year, since you think it's going to be Carnell Tate and I think it's going to be Wan'Dale.
No, I said yesterday, I think Wan'Dale leads the team in receptions, Carnell leads the team in yards and touchdowns.
Okay, very good. F&M Bank Chat also available to you. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. If you want to jump in, we would welcome your commentary there. We will continue to talk about things that happened in training camp yesterday. We'll circle back to some of the media availability yesterday, too. Coming up next, stick around. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
I am craving Hattie B's hot chicken. I'm always craving Hattie B's hot chicken because there's something for everyone at Hattie B's. You can get grilled chicken, you can get fried chicken, whatever spice level you want. You can get their southern salads with those cornbread croutons, the size, whether it's the pimento mac, the southern greens, the grits, my mouth waters just thinking about it. And Hattie B's is rolling out a new limited time only creamy, smoky, barbecue-y sauce, Hattie Q. Go check it out at any one of their Middle Tennessee locations. Brand new one on Gallatin Ave in East Nashville with an incredible event space behind it where you can go watch games, relax, play some pool, and enjoy the best hot chicken that Music City has to offer. Be sure to download the Hattie B's app. You start to build up those rewards. You will be amazed at how generous Hattie B's is when you continue to come back to that hot chicken. You can also order online at HattieB.com and go to Hattie B's today.
What's happening? What's happening, good people? Let me go on and tell you while you're walking into your weekend what you need to be looking for. That is a truck. Yeah, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They're going to take care of you. All you got to do is slide in there and let them know, hey, man, Big Slay told me. And they will look out for you. Go in there and holler at my guys, Trey, Matt. They're going to be right there to help you walk through the process of going to get your truck. And guess what? It's nothing that's going to be pressure, no high pressure, just low pressure approach, no gimmicks, no pushy sales tactics. That's not what they're about. They're about getting the job done and getting you comfortable and understanding exactly what you're getting into. It's a one-stop shop. If you need service, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They are the ones you need to be looking for. When it comes to the right vehicle, they got you covered. Even a body shop, service, financing, sales, they got it, all of that. All you got to do is go to 1319 Foster Avenue. Visit mid10fordtrucks.com.
Welcome back to the show. Titans training camp day 2 in the Robert Saleh era. No pads on yet, but players are on the field getting ready for practice. We are fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, and this is the first of many training camp days where it starts to feel like a little bit of a homecoming. Mark Mariani's in the building. Ben Jones is in the building, and he joins us now. How's it going, man? How's your summer?
It's been good, man. Happy to be back. School's starting soon, so everything's getting back in order.
You're out here with maybe a more watchful eye even than usual as you get ready to make your Titans radio debut on the sideline. Really cool to see that announced this offseason. How pumped are you to watch the Titans in 2026 from that perspective?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun experience. I'm excited for it and getting to do a preseason game, so trying to get my eye on some of these guys who are competing for a spot that you really don't know their names yet, and so that's always a task to see, and the season's great. It gives you something to prepare for, look for, and I'm excited for this football season. Like, I feel like we have a real team this year and ready to roll, and it's training camp. That's what you're supposed to feel like. You have a shot, and I'm excited for them.
It's an interesting vibe out here with so many players that are new to the Titans but are not new to this coaching staff, that are not new to Robert Saleh or Brian Daboll or whoever it might be, maybe rejoining former teammates. Have you ever been in a situation like that? I know, really the only time you transitioned was going from Houston to Tennessee, but, yeah. How ahead of the game does that put them from a team chemistry and culture standpoint?
Yeah, I think the biggest transition, not for me as a player, is when Vrabel got here and he was bringing all his guys. I feel like the first 2 years it was just, how many guys can I bring from the Texans into the building? And I feel like he's doing the same thing now up in New England. He's still bringing some Titans guys, some guys who have familiarity in the defense and offense. So for them, yes, Saleh's he's been out in San Fran, he's been at the Jets. Getting some of those faces that he trusts and knows what they can do, and that's how you build a team quick.
When you're out here, how naturally do your eyes just gravitate to the offensive line? Or is it more sort of big picture than people would just assume simply because you're a former offensive lineman?
When they're doing pre-game or pre-warm-ups and stuff like that, I'm definitely locking in, see what the quarterbacks are doing warming up. What's their routine? Are the centers out early, or the O-linemen hanging out together? You kind of want to see the vibe of the whole team, and they come in here, do their pre-warm-up and everything, so it looks cool. It's different from standing up in this view because I know this is my time to stretch and kind of clown around before the real magic happens in practice.
What are you trying to get accomplished from an offensive line perspective at this time of training camp? Literally day 2, no pads on. Right. What are your goals in this phase of camp?
Yeah, it's hard to evaluate run game right here. It's more of assignments in the run game. Yes, this is a penetrating defense who it's hard to really get a good look because they are firing off the ball because they're doing what they're doing, and they're aggressive style of defense, and you have no pads on. So individual, you're working your craft, you're getting ready. So when you do put the pads on, you're able to go out there and execute your blocks and schemes. But right now it's assignments, working on your conditioning, making sure you were in shape for put on the pads, and going out there and communicating as one unit.
This group does have a lot to prove, right? The Titans are still sort of seeking that level of offensive line play that they haven't had since you guys were doing it, especially in that 2019 run, 2020, 2021. We haven't gotten a chance, I don't think, to talk to you a lot about Austin Schlottmann and Andre James, two guys that are established, that have started games in this league at center. What do you know about those two players as they come in? And Schlottmann is kind of the presumed starter at center, but we'll see what happens over the next few weeks.
Yeah, with Austin moving in here from center, from knowing the offense, that is huge for an offensive lineman. That's a guy you're going to rely on through these periods in the OTAs and camp. He's had every install. He knows every look that you could possibly have. So he's a guy that needs to be vocal. He's a guy who's got to step up when everybody's tired and it's the dog days of camp. He's got to be that guy who's like, hey, we're going to get this right. We're going to be in and out the huddle, because he knows. He don't have to think about it. Other guys are thinking technique, plays, assignment. Well, he can make it really clear for him. So I'm excited to see that. Let him run the show. This is his first really shot to be the guy. So I'm excited to see that. Then you have the young guy over at right guard. He's athletic, and he has guys beside him that need to bring him along. And that's what this camp's about. It's like, hey, communicate to him, give him a shot, and he's going to get some absolute dogs up front. So he's going to see some of the best talent all camp long to get him prepared for the season.
Ben Jones hanging out with us upstairs on the terrace as the Titans get ready to start day 2 of training camp practice.
Multimedia broadcast superstar Ben Jones. Who'd have thunk? You and Bates in media are two of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. I love it. It makes me happy. It makes me mad at you for being a player and being as difficult as you were, but I love it.
Yeah, I was all ball at all times. I hated y'all.
Again, the point, what you say or don't say
Understandably
in microphones has literally nothing to do with what happens on the football field.
Until it does. Until it does.
Until you let it.
Well, that's absolutely a thing, but that's how guys get weeded out, right? So that's, in part, a part of the process. So we're getting ready to get things going here at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, except that's not what it's called anymore, so I got to stop calling it that. It's going to be a really difficult habit
right
for me
there.
to break. I got a wall here, bud, and I can't see it.
Move 2 inches. It's right there.
Vanderbilt Health Football Center. That still seems weird. Either way, Ben, I want to ask you about the solid defense because I remember covering that game in New York against the Jets. It was the Corey Davis revenge game. Zach was the only, with respect to Corey, it's really probably the best individual performance Corey had with the Jets.
No doubt.
And
one of the best of his NFL career.
Yeah. I might argue that was the case, and that game went to overtime. Explain to me the difference between Robert Saleh's defense and the defense that Titans fans have been accustomed to seeing under Bowen and Vrabel these last few years.
Yeah, so with Saleh's defense, it is a 4-down, penetrating, get after you front. You have a gap, you're just flying through it. You're attacking on the way to the quarterback, where you're going to a more multiple defense, 3-4, give you a million looks with the past defenses with Vrabel, where it's more gap assignment, disguise, don't have to have the elite talent at every position. You're going to confuse them. You're going to give them a different look every time. This team, you know where they're going to line up, and they are coming. And that's when you're preparing for them, you're like, all right, you know what you're going to get. Can you block them? And that's what they put out there. They go get talent, the guys who fit their scheme. He knows what the guys. He's had some of these guys at the Jets. He has Jeffrey Simmons, who is built for this kind of defense, and it is going to be a fun season to watch on that defense if we can stay healthy.
How much better could Jeff?
I'm curious, why do you say that about Jeff, built for this defense? Like, what about Jeff makes him built for this defense?
He's explosive, he's powerful, and he loves playing upfield. Like, in the other defenses, he's having to play 2 hands in your chest. He has 2 gaps. He's playing an assignment on 1st and 2nd down. Now he can pin his ears back and let go. They would find ways for him to do that in schemes against certain teams, but sometimes if they came out in 21 personnel, goal line, different defenses, he had to hold his gap until he saw it was passed, then he'd have to transition. Right here, he is literally going to put his hand down in a racehorse stance, and he is going to attack. It's going to be fun to see.
You can poke holes in any scheme.
Yep.
Where are the holes?
Yeah, in this one, our thing was we're going to be, if you can win one block, they get them out of gap. Like, we tried everything in our power, but one guy can miss a block, and they can make up for it. So you're having to, hey, can you reach a guy with not doing a double team? If you get caught in the double team, the backer's flying down here with the Williams boys up there. And you look at Quinnen Williams to Jeff. You got 2 similar bodies. Jeff's more explosive. Jeff fits this scheme better than Quinnen, which Quinnen's bigger body, more of a nose type. When he was playing the same technique as Jeff's going to be playing here, Jeff is leaned down, looks amazing. So this scheme is, if you could pick a scheme for Jeff, this is the one he should be in.
I don't know how much, because I know you were very cognizant of what was being done around the league beyond just your own situation. Like, you obviously have conversations with guys at your position. A lot of you guys have the same agent in a lot of situations, right? So there's ongoing conversations about that. Have you heard anything about Carmen Brasillo, their offensive line coach here?
Yeah, so one of my good buddies with the Patriots Senate for a long time, David Andrews, who had him in New England.
Right.
So that was the first call I made. I was like, hey, got the O-line coach. Give me all the details on him. He's like, love him. He trained under Scar. He was in there.
Dante Scarnecchio.
Yeah, he was one of the best O-line coaches probably. It will go down in history as because he made chicken salad out of chicken, you know what, right there. Because they had undrafted O-lineman after undrafted O-lineman, and Brady got rid of the ball. He was dialed on details, inside out in the protection, and they're running the same system now. It's the same Brady offense that they ran back in the day, a million code words and all the different things. can't wait to see Cam in year 2 of this and get the ball out of his hands and getting the guys. We got weapons out there this year.
That does feel like a bit of an adjustment for Cam, though, right? Yep. Based on the way that he plays, and I defer to you on what you see, but like from my perspective, when I watch him, not just when he's hunting big plays, but he seems to almost default to pushing the ball down the field.
Yeah.
That runs a little bit counter to the things that he's going to be asked to do now.
Everything has its thing. So some plays he's gonna know, hey, this is my shot play. This play right here doesn't have a shot aspect to it. So hey, this is a zone play. I'm gonna check it down right here. This is my vertical threat play on this. If they give me this coverage, he's going to have all that in his hands before the play is snapped. He's going to know if he's going to take a shot, no matter what the defense is giving him. They don't have it all broken down. This thing is not gray at all for him. The protection's not gray anymore. Everything is so detailed by formations, by protections. This thing has been thought through very thoroughly, and this actually is better for a quarterback to succeed by the protection scheme and how they label stuff and getting the receivers in the right spot.
Ben Jones hanging out with us here upstairs. Russ Grimm was the offensive line coach when you got here, right?
In 16 and 17.
How long did it take making that transition from Houston to Tennessee? How long until you felt totally comfortable with how Russ Grimm wanted to operate and the offensive scheme playing center in 2016?
Yeah, Russ was the most unique coach I've ever had. He kind of sat back, and if he had a leader, he would let him work. For me, he was like, I'm not out there on the field, Ben. It's your offensive line. You're having to deal with it. I'm going to give you the tools to make these calls, but deep down, you got to make these calls in the field. You can change any protection. You can do what's best for the O-line. So putting that responsibility on me and the O-line, it made me study more. It made the guys around trust me more because they knew I had the power to put everybody in the best situation. Hey, if Taylor needed a chip here early, we'd slide it to him. If Jack needed some help, he had a dog out there, we'd try to get the protection over there if no pressure was coming. So we were able to work together and kind of dial that in because Russ's whole thing is y'all out there executing. He's done it. He was a hog back in the day. He knew what it took, and his thing was go out there, have fun, and play hard because everything else, X's and O's, is on y'all when it comes down. And that was great for us. Like, yes, we made some mistakes where we probably shouldn't have done some stuff, but he's like, y'all the ones got to make the mistakes, not me over here on the sideline with the microphone.
But did it take a couple weeks or a month, a few days before that started to feel like second nature? And I just asked because of how ahead of the game Schlottman might be with both Brasillo and Dable carrying over from the Giants.
Well, and I also remember how hard it was for Saffold when he first got here, and I know that was not
key,
Grimm, right? But I think just the learning curve generally.
Yeah, I feel like the whole thing was his whole goal. The staff before Russ got him was so detailed. Everything had a call and a million things, and Russ just simplified it for Taylor. He was like, hey, if it's a pass, you have the end or the widest. And if it was a run, you're either deucing, traying, or got the end. And just made it so simple for Taylor so he could do what he did best. He talked crap, he ran around, he played fast. So he tried to make it simple for us so we could have fun. And his thing at practice was, we're going to get after it every day in team. I'm going to take care of you an individual. We're going to work some basic footwork. But his thing was, you're taking every rep of team. So we never got a rep off in team, which is wild. Like looking now, like back in the day, I would take 3 plays, come out for 2, go back in for 2. We would just take all 15. He's like, that's how a game is. You take 15 plays in a row, that's how you get in shape. I'm not going to get you in shape in Indy. Total opposite of every other team I've been a part of.
Ben Jones hanging out here with us at the Titans practice facility. Day 2 of training camp. We're going to let Ben watch some actual football, or I guess as close to actual football as non-padded training camp practices get here in a little bit, and we'll get a report from him later on in the show. We'll see whose reporting is better, Big J Journo Burt or Ben Jones, who is now going to be doing some sideline work for Titans Radio, which we're looking forward to, of course. Him and Mariani and Brett Hopkins and a lot of other people getting involved with that. I want to ask you about Peter Skoronski, Ben, because he appeared, and I don't know how much you guys pay attention to off-season lists when Jeremy Fowler at ESPN puts these things out, the top 10 centers as polled, by coaches, executives, and scouts around the league, defensive linemen, quarterbacks, what have you. Peter Skoronski appeared in that list at number 9 between guards and centers this year, and I was hoping you could help us understand what it is that makes Peter good and potentially great.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of reps under his belt now. He's been in multiple offenses. And now this is a similar offense that he had his rookie year when Tim Kelly was running the offense. It's the same kind of pass protections. You're getting back to that style of offense for him. Yes, he missed some time with appendicitis that year and didn't get his full season under his belt that year. But, yes, this is is it year 4 for him finally? This is getting into the contract year. He played a way better last year. He felt like he was getting in his groove, and this is his step like, hey, this is who I am going to be as a player. This is what I can hang my hat on. I kind of know what I'm doing now. I'm in a leadership role now. I've been here one of the longest guy in the room.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Year 4.
That's how much turnover happened. When you have multiple coaches fired in the past 4 years.
How many O-line coaches is this for Skoronski?
He had Hoteling, right?
Yep.
So then he would have had Callahan.
Yep.
And then now Brasillo.
And Callahan left midseason last year.
Yeah.
So really it was
I don't remember the 2 assistant coaches' names.
Fuchs, Scott Fuchs.
Jonesy was one of them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're
That's
talking
right.
about 1, 2. I mean, that's 4, 5.
That's a lot.
Yes.
In your rookie contract.
Yeah.
That's an insane amount of turnover.
Yeah, that is wild. And
That's kind of the
thing.
league now, though, isn't it, Ben?
It is. And I had the same thing in Houston. For my first, 6 years in the league, I had every 2 years there was somebody different. And you kind of bit and take bits and pieces from each O-line coach, each OC. Even in year 10, I was still using some of my techniques I learned my first 2 years because we had John Benton, who is still coaching O-line in the league today, and he was a wide zone guy with Kubiak. So when we put that in, I'm like, yeah, I remember doing this drill with him that I really liked. So you kind of take those drills and like, hey, I like that, I didn't like that, I like this from this O-line coach, and you kind of make yourself as a player over your time.
It's so nice to have Ben back on the radio show.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. I feel smarter. We need some intelligence around here.
It was much needed.
On a regular basis. Ben, I'm going to let you go watch some practice now. I know they're working. Well, we can't tell them what they're working through right now because fans aren't out here, so that means we cannot tell people until the end of practice what's happening on the field. But I would like to get your perspective a little later on in the show. So we release you from your microphone duties for the time being, and we'll get back with you here in just a second. Ron Slay just showed up. Big Slay. I just got sexually harassed by Ron Slay up here on the balcony. That's on camera. HR. We'll talk. Lucas, it looks like we have a little FIFA news that's worth talking about. Yeah, that laugh is everything you need to know. We'll do it coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Not even close. Very happy to have my Hattie B's jersey out here yesterday. Keep me cool in the weather. It is immaculate today on the SeatGeek Cache.
It really is.
It is a beautiful day for football practice. Again, a quick reminder, and we will remind you periodically, there are no fans out at practice today, so we cannot tell you what's happening in real time. We will have Ben Jones and Big J Burt come and update us on practice at the end of the show. Well, at the end of practice, which will be the final hour of the show, which is also when Wan'Dale Robinson will come up and visit with us. I think we're going to have Mariani up here, too, at some point. We got a lot of things going on today, and we're looking forward.
Another Titans Radio sideline reporter for 2026.
Yes. I don't know how many. Ben said he's doing 3 games, a preseason game, 2 regular season games. It's going to be fun to have Ben on the road. I love that, especially in a dreary place like Cincinnati. My God. We'll be looking for things to do. But
Cincinnati's not that bad.
Cincinnati sucks.
I like Cincinnati. As far as Ohio,
in November?
As far as Ohio goes, yeah, like whether or not with
on a scale of Ohio.
Yeah. Well, as far as Ohio is concerned, Cincinnati's about all the state has to offer. That and what's the theme park?
Six Flags?
No.
Damn.
Cedar Point.
Cedar Point. Cedar Point is famous. Somebody is asking if I'm wearing a Brazil football jersey. George Walker of Getty Images. He's a great photographer. Asked me what is Brazil. I said, well, that's Brazil, George.
What is?
Because I guess he was reading it and it says Brazil. He thought it was a misspelling. He thought I got a knockoff jersey.
No, they spell it. That's funny. They spell it with an S.
Yes, indeed. So we will get to some Robert Saleh stuff from earlier this morning because I thought this was a pretty good press conference from Saleh. It sucks that we have to talk to them before practice, but because we're basically just recapping the previous day with the coach, but there was some good information there that we will get to momentarily. I do need a little football, your little football taste, because apparently we've done a lot of that actually this week. There is a little bit of UEFA news, as I understand it.
Yeah, UEFA, the governing body, for those who don't know, FIFA, Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, kind of dropped something in everyone's lap that, hey, we're selling ownership interests in the World Cup to private equity. Everybody good? Good? Okay, we're going to do this.
Insane.
And then UEFA, the governing body of European soccer that represents 55 member associations, 55 nations in Europe, has unanimously...
And that's important, Europe,
yes. Has unanimously decided to reject FIFA's proposal to transfer ownership interests in the World Cup to private investors and has said they are going to boycott the World Cup if this is something that happens, that they will not participate in any FIFA competition.
Thank God.
In response to this proposal to sell a stake in the World Cup to private investors. Part of their statement reads, the World Cup cannot be treated as an investment product. It is one of football's greatest sporting legacies. It has been built over generations by players, national teams, and supporters across every continent. The World Cup is not for sale. It is both irresponsible and indefensible that a proposal of such significance for football was conceived in secret and brought to the brink of approval without any meaningful consultation with those entrusted with stewarding the game. Called it a failure of leadership and an abdication of FIFA's duty as the custodian of world football. So, yes, UEFA, yes, Europe, thank you for standing up to this. And, my goodness, get Gianni Infantino out of there, for the love of God.
Why? He just made them so much money with this World Cup, Lucas. They're not going to get rid of him. Like, what would it take? If they couldn't get rid of Sepp Blatter, how the hell are they going to get rid of this guy? He's making more money for them than Sepp Blatter did, which is crazy.
They did get rid of Sepp Blatter. He's not the president of FIFA.
Yeah, but how old is Sepp Blatter? Like, he's in his 80s now, isn't he?
What I think Gianni Infantino wants to do is totally reset the framing of term limits to just be the president of FIFA forever.
I'm the president of everybody.
So, yes, thank goodness that somebody's standing up to this. And if UEFA will do it, others will follow suit.
So, where would you like to start in terms of Robert Saleh and his commentary this morning? Because I did think there were a lot of good things to learn from the head coach's press conference today. There was some conversation about the offensive line and how they are at a disadvantage, the position group that is at the biggest disadvantage at this point in training camp, which was, I think, noted properly in the way that the defensive line worked them yesterday. There was conversation about the starting right guard situation where Jaxson Slater, was out there starting. J.C. Slater is like a 90s sitcom character? Or I'm thinking of A.C. Slater, right?
I don't know. Wrong audience. I don't know.
Very good. And so versus Cordell Volson and Saleh giving answers about that. There was good answers about why they're calling different plays as an offense for Cam, for Levis, and for Trubisky, which I thought was interesting as well. They're not calling the same plays for each quarterback throughout the course of practice. Where would you like to start?
Let's start with Volson and the competition at right guard, Zach. This would be clip number 14, the revolving door at position starting with right guard.
I apologize. It's an open competition, so you might see Volson starting out today. They're all at a bunch of spots. It's going to be a revolving door, and I'm leaving I'm trusting both coordinators, all position coaches, to handle it accordingly.
I mean, so people were like, "Oh my God, Slater starting? No. It's what the day's rotation looked like.
Which position group do you think will have the most rotation, like the most experimentation with testing guys to play with the ones as they try to figure out, as they put it, the 53 best football players on this roster?
Is safety a position that we haven't really talked about? Because it's Amani, and I mean, Kevin Winston is expected.
Yeah, we know next to nothing about the depth at safety. Winston still has to prove he can stay healthy.
I mean, if you're talking about sheer volume of players,
it's a line.
It's the defensive line, right? Because you've got so many different bodies, and they're all going to play.
Yeah, I would have said O-line just because of the 5 positions. Like 5 positions.
I think Schlottman
just
though
allows more room for rotation.
Like maybe we see Coogan a little bit, maybe we see James, but I think Austin Schlottman is this team's center.
Right, sure. I'm talking about rotation throughout the course of camp. They told us we're going to have 2s and 3s playing with the 1s. Yeah. It's going to be a constant churn as they try to figure out their best 53. So I'm strictly talking about rotation during practice, where we see, hey, that guy's definitely not going to start, but there he is with the 1s in team drills.
You can't say corner, right? Because they paid 2 corners significant amounts of money to come in here and start. Safety.
But that doesn't mean that they won't rotate guys in to play in those spots during practice. I'm talking about which position group sees the most rotation on testing the 2s and 3s with the 1s during practice. Not games, just what's happening here at camp.
Man, that's a good question.
I think it's O-line just because of the sheer volume of positions. You have 5 positions to toy with, more than any other singular position, unless you want to lump the whole front 7 together.
I just don't think that that's going to be extended, right? Like, I think you could see rotations at different positions as we get later in camp. I think once they figure out who their starting offensive line is, they're going to stick with it.
Sure, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to...
For the purposes of continuity, these guys need to work together. These guys need to get on the same page.
Absolutely. But it doesn't mean we won't still see rotation, because they still have to figure out who their swing tackle is, right?
That's true.
What better way to figure out who your swing tackle is than to test him against the 1s, against this front 7 group, which is what he's going to have to do if he's thrown into the situation during the season. He's going to have to go up against an opponent's 1s, not its 2s and 3s.
Yeah.
So, you're right. Like, continuity, they have to find a way to get this group to gel and flow together. But I still think we're going to be seeing – I mean, they told us 2 days ago, we're going to see rotation throughout the course of camp. It doesn't mean those guys are starters, but we have to see them playing against starters to get a proper evaluation of those guys.
Yeah, at every position but quarterback. That's
linebacker, I feel like we may see a lot of different combinations with Barton and Cedric Gray and Anthony Hill, the rookie, and James Williams.
I wonder how much Ron Williams gets. What would you do with him? I mean, I know there's so many weeks of this, and again, we're not in pads yet, so nobody needs to make a determination on James Williams yet, but like, is he a good enough special teamer where you would put him on the roster strictly for special teams, if nothing else? And depth linebacker, because he has played. I mean, he's got coverage ability, right? He's got great length. I mean, he's freakishly athletic for a person that size. It's just a question of
there's enough value there on special teams.
Is there discipline though? Does he have the necessary discipline required to play either special teams or linebacker? Without making mistakes, right? Because I do think he's just – I don't want to say that he's just anything. I don't want to put him in a box as this would be James Williams' 3rd year, I guess. It is crazy that the 3rd and 4th year guys are like the longest tenured dudes. I know Amani and Jeff are the same draft class, so they're the longest tenured Titans. But it's crazy that Skoronski is like next on that list.
A lot of turnover the last few years.
Yeah, linebacker's a good submission because I think they know. They drafted Anthony Hill in the second round to play him a significant amount of snaps. Did you happen to catch the Sala line about what Aaron Whitecotton would do if they dropped a defensive lineman into coverage? Did you happen to catch that? I don't
Today?
know. Yeah, I don't know if it made Kroll. Did it make the list? I'm looking at your list of cuts right now. This is terrible radio for me to scroll through these audio clips and see if we have it. But it made me laugh. If we don't have it, it's okay. He said Aaron Whitecotton, who is the defensive line coach, would blow up this building if I dropped a defensive lineman into coverage. That is a quote. That is a quote from Robert Saleh. So it's okay, Kroll. I appreciate it though, because that's the summary, right? And so you're going to see Robert was like, well, they did a weird thing with the linebackers. They had the edge guys go over with the defensive line. I'm like, there are no more outside linebackers in this system, right? These are all three guys who are going to be off the ball. Your three best linebackers, if it's Barton, Cedric Gray, Anthony Hill, let's say, those guys are not. I mean, Anthony Hill can rush the passer, right? How many career sacks do you have at Texas? Like 17, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got that in his bag, and it doesn't mean that they can't blitz on occasion. But this is a significantly different defense. It's just a stark departure from what has been here through Vrabel, through Denard Wilson, through Bowen in those last couple of years. So it will be curious to see, because Femi's no longer a linebacker, right? He's a defensive lineman.
Yeah. We, to step away from Titans camp a little bit, we got to talk about this Baker thing. Have you seen what Baker's saying about his negotiations with the Bucs?
I have not, and we can get to that coming up next.
It is 11:02. Good morning from Vanderbilt Health Football Center, day 2 of Titans training camp under Robert Saleh. I'm Lucas Panzica. Saleh met with the media earlier this morning before practice got underway, confirming that offensive tackle J.C. Latham is being taken off the physically unable to perform list to be able to practice today. Latham was named day-to-day with a pec strain by Mike Borgonzi 2 days ago. Saleh also said that wide receiver Calvin Ridley will be a full participant today after being limited yesterday dealing with a stomach bug. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
The second hour is upon us here at the Titans practice facility, and we're happy to have you along. It's Lucas and me for the time being. We've got eyes everywhere, though. We got Robert Walsh down there doing some reporting as Titans practice goes on. Ben Jones will give us his practice report when practice concludes today, which should be about 12:15. And then after practice concludes and Wan'Dale Robinson has gone through his post-practice routine, we will be joined by, was that the biggest ticket item? No, JFM. John Franklin Myers was the biggest spend that they had this offseason. But that was Wan'Dale Robinson's second and a critical component to making Brian Daboll's offense work. So we will look forward to having a conversation with him. 2 wide receivers back to back to start the training camp interview series, which is just fine because I think they're both interesting guys for different reasons. And 2 different paths to get here to try and improve this football team substantially. 615-737-1045, the number if you would like to participate. You are welcome to do so. We are also available to you live streamed from the Titans practice facility on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch if you would like to interact with the show there. Lucas looking particularly diminutive. Are you shrinking? You're getting shorter on camera. I'm concerned about you. Did you take your heel lifts out?
So Baker Mayfield spoke
It's okay.
with some strong words.
Happens to all of us.
Yesterday, or this morning at Bucks training camp. Baker does not have a contract, and this is kind of wild to hear a player at the podium talking about his organization like this.
I love this.
Zach, can we hear from Baker?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've told you guys I've been pretty upfront and honest about my feelings about Tampa. It being home for now our family. We're raising kids here. We love it here. I wanted the deal done and set the deadline and told them it was going to be all ball after that, and I did mean that. And I don't know if they thought I was just going to take some of the offers that they gave, but I'm at the point of my career and understanding what I've brought to this franchise. One, I'm very, very thankful for the chance they gave me. Do not get me wrong on that. But I've also I really know what I've brought to this franchise, leadership-wise, and even play-wise. It's been some of the best years of my career, and I think it's only going to trend upwards, just being comfortable and feeling that. So disappointing in that regard to not have, to feel disrespected a little bit. And that's really the disappointing part, to feel undervalued after, thinking you've earned it. This is not a poor me thing. There's a lot of other people that have it way worse off, but I can sit here and look at other quarterbacks and peers and evaluate myself based on that and put myself in certain categories that I deserve to be compensated for that. And I think I'm a franchise quarterback. I've been told I'm a franchise quarterback. It's been said publicly from ownership down here. And so to not have a deal done is very disappointing. But I said the deadline was a deadline, and I addressed the team to let them know I meant that. It's all ball. I'm with these guys. I think all the guys that have been here know exactly who I am. The guys that are new here, I wanted to address that because they might have had a notion prior to coming here about who I am as a person. But it's all team. It's all about winning here now and what we're going to do. And, hopefully Vita gets his back.
All right, so that's Baker Mayfield. He goes on for a little bit longer, but he's kind of taking the Bucs out, as Lucas mentioned at the podium. And I think that's, how old is Baker now? He's in his 30s, certainly. Yeah. He's the number 1 overall pick in what, 2016?
17.
So Baker Mayfield.
No. 18.
18. Okay.
He's 31.
Baker's been at this long enough, right? So Baker Mayfield has been kind of strung along by the Browns as a franchise quarterback. How much worse have the Browns been in the absence of Baker Mayfield? And then he goes, was it Carolina after Cleveland for Baker and Darnold together? There's that weird Carolina stint for both of them.
Yeah, Carolina. Because
then I think he gets cut and ends up in L.A. with McVay because he debuts on like Sunday Night Football. He has to play
like 2 days after he gets there
and leads a game-winning drive
like
for the Rams.
98-yard
drive. It was
drive.
sick. I remember that.
Yeah, and so then I think he goes into Tampa.
That sounds correct.
But he, according to Jeremy Fowler, Baker wanted to be in that $50 million club of quarterbacks.
Shouldn't he be?
Trevor Lawrence. And that's the ultimate question here. Is Baker Mayfield a $50+ million quarterback at this point in his career?
He's accomplished way more than guys who are making way more than him with less body of work. Wouldn't you say Trevor Lawrence has not accomplished nearly what Baker Mayfield has had? Trevor Lawrence was a no-brainer. He's a former number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, Baker said that the Bucs were pretty far from the $50 million per club, which he wanted to enter. So, yeah, I mean, no question, Trevor Lawrence, Baker has done more than Trevor in this league. He's also older than Trevor. If you had to sit here today and say who you want your quarterback to be over the next 5 years, would you go Baker or Trevor?
Trevor.
I'd go Trevor.
So he's younger.
It's kind of a combination of, what have you done, what have you proven, and what is your trajectory, what is your ceiling over the course of the next 4 years, whatever the term of the deal would be.
How many quarterbacks do you think are making north of $50 million a year on an AAV basis, Lucas?
I'd say 7.
10, 11, 12,
Oh my
13.
goodness.
13.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you think you could name the 13 quarterbacks? Because there are a few here that I would take Baker Mayfield over.
All right, so Dak, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence. I know Tua is up there. Pat Mahomes, obviously.
Tua is not on his current deal, right?
Like 45 a year or something?
He got paid out, right? So he's making like a $1 million.
Okay.
He's making vet minimum in Atlanta. So he's not on an AAV basis in that category, but he was. You are correct.
Trevor Lawrence, obviously Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford. Oh,
let me give you the
list.
list.
Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
is.
Brock Purdy. That's like 8, 9 that I've named.
Yeah, there's 2 I bet you won't get. And they're both NFC quarterbacks.
Did Daniel Jones get into that 50?
He did.
With that new deal? Okay.
He did.
But that's not an NFC quarterback.
Nope. It's Jordan Love and Jared Goff.
Yeah, that's right.
So in order of AAV, right? So average annual value. Mahomes, Dak, Stafford, Love, Lawrence, Burrow, Allen, Goff, Purdy, Herbert, Jackson, Hurts, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I forgot about Deshaun. So
Deshaun 46. Deshaun at 46.
That's almost half the league.
That's right.
I mean, that's
Baker Mayfield is a top half of the league quarterback.
Yes.
He was in MVP discussions before he got hurt. Before everybody got hurt.
Injuries really started to pile up for Tampa. So 100%. Like the $50 million per year is no longer the elite of the elite. It is literally the top half of the NFL, which is crazy.
Somebody said, well, I mean, think about what defensive linemen are making. You saw that Jalen Carter deal, right? And that's not $50 million a year, but it's crazy money. Jeff is making a crazy amount of money. Like, that's just where the money is in the NFL right now. Somebody in the comments says Baker is in a weird spot. Decent quarterback, but can't will your team into a Super Bowl. How many quarterbacks would you say could will their team into a Super Bowl? Can Trevor? Can Jordan Love? Can Dak Prescott? Joe Burrow got them there, but they haven't been in the playoffs since then.
It's so interesting because it feels like the Bucs.
I just don't think that's good analysis.
The Bucs are gambling on Baker declining from here, is what this feels like.
At 31, which is not a safe bet at the quarterback position.
It's not a safe bet, but I think I can also see it from that side of things, where like the Baker obviously has a play style that gets him into trouble injury-wise. It also endears him to his teammates and is part of his mentality and what makes him an effective player. So I kind of see both sides of it. Like Baker absolutely is a top half quarterback in the NFL.
What's your alternative, though? I mean, are you just going to gamble? Are you going to bottom out your season? Are you going to because Baker's good enough to keep you out of the top of the draft, right?
Yeah, that's the alternative.
And this is the quarterback draft. This is the quarterback draft, right? We're talking about potentially 22 draftable quarterbacks.
It's interesting. It's almost like the organization is just gambling on it bottoming out and the Todd Bowles era coming to an end and just hitting the reset button across the board. That's what
Yeah,
it
because
feels
Bowles
like.
feels kind of tenuous, right, as a coach.
Yeah. It feels like they are closer to hitting the restart button, like unplugging and plugging back in the way obviously the Titans have done. It feels like they know they're closer to that than they are in a championship window to put all the chips in with Baker. So, like,
I think that's nonsense. I mean, I'm not saying your explanation is nonsense. I think that position would be nonsense from the Bucs. I just don't think that they have put themselves in an untenable position because now your quarterback's pissed at you. So whatever you were thinking about offering him, say you counter and say, okay, Baker, 50. He's gonna look at you and say, okay, but Lamar Jackson makes 52, Jalen Hurts makes 51. I think Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, especially when Jalen doesn't run as much as he used to.
he's not earned.
I would take. I mean, Jalen is a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
So let me not denigrate a Super Bowl champion, but I think as a quarterback, straight up, if you put them on a neutral team, I would take Baker.
Let's see. Their wide receiver room right now looks like Emeka Egbuka, who is absolutely a rising player. Chris Godwin, who is coming off an insane rash of
Has been a
injuries.
good player, but it's been a while. I like Jalen McMillan,
And
though.
Jalen McMillan. That's their basically their starting wide receiver group right now.
I think people may need to be reminded that Mike Evans is in San Francisco now.
Vita Vea also requested a trade.
That to me means more money. It doesn't necessarily mean he wants out.
Yeah, but it's tenuous times in Tampa. There you go. There's your newspaper headline.
Tenuous times in Tampa. What are you, the New York Post? 615-737-1045, the number. We'll circle back to some Titans discussion. We will go back over some of what the head coach and some of the players had to say. Practice ongoing right now. We will update you on today's work in just a little bit once practice concludes. For what it's worth, the practice schedule has changed. We are not going to be broadcasting out here tomorrow. They do have a bit of a walkthrough situation, and they have meetings, but they have adapted the practice schedule so there will not be a practice proper, which means that we will not be out here. Media will not be out here. Well, they did tell us that we could do the show from here if we wanted to, but they're not going to be on the actual field, which I kind of don't mind if the weather's like this, Lucas. I think Kirby might be pissed at me if we made him come out here for no particular reason other than to enjoy the outdoors.
We got someone on the phone wants to talk Baker.
Do we?
Yeah. Let's hear from Randy in Nashville.
Go ahead, Randy.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I just kind of want to hit two quick topics real quick. One about the Baker Mayfield situation where it's like I do feel like he is worth a franchise chip quarterback. I mean, like you say, everyone's talked about it. I think he's proved himself worth down in Tampa, way more so than what he was in Cleveland. They had that man doing commercials, for Christ's sakes, just to get some type of revenue going in because nobody's watching the game. When it comes to him being compensated for it, I do feel like, he hasn't really – you can't say he's a Tom Brady because, Tom Brady is a different animal in itself, but I do feel like he's well worth the conversation of probably top 6-7 quarterback in the league right now, and I do feel like he's actually shown that. So I do think it's worth to note that Baker has a right to feel the way he feels. But on another note, I do feel like what you said was it kind of feels like they're playing on his downfall just to kind of like blow up the situation. Don't know why necessarily they would do that since, it's probably the best quarterback they're going to probably get in the next 5 or 6 years. So that's just my take on Baker. And then the second notion when it comes to Titans, I actually liked hearing Cam Ward talk about how the one main problem with Cam Ward that I saw last year as his rookie season, given he was a rookie, was not really looking down the field and throwing the ball away and keeping it safe, was just trying to make the big play and try to, look flashy in front of his peers. But I did like how he was doing that.
Thank you, Randy. That's 60 seconds on the clock. I think we went a little over 60 seconds. Oh, God, Kroll. Don't just cut it off cold. You get the Oscars music if you talk for more than a minute, because we got, I appreciate the call, but we were wandering there at a certain point. No, Baker Mayfield is not Tom Brady. I can certainly confirm that. I do think Lucas, if you're talking about guy like you enjoy listening to Cam talk, you think that Cam is somebody who would galvanize you if you were a player in that locker room. Would you not say the same of Baker?
Oh, yeah.
Baker is a good soldier to the T. He will fight like hell through injury, which is exactly what you want. He's available.
Yeah, which has gotten him in trouble, right? It has
got him kicked out of Cleveland.
It's negatively impacted him. But yes, absolutely, he would endear himself to any locker room, I would think.
I don't know about top 6 or 7 quarterback in the NFL, but he is the kind of player that you would want, who embodies exactly the kind of energy, exactly the kind of perspective, exactly the kind of fight that you want your entire team to embody. Because now what is the thing that you hear from coaches, and there's probably many things, so it's maybe not a fair question. You hear from coaches so often that the best teams are what? Player-led, right? The best teams are player-led, that the locker room governs itself if things are operating at a reasonable level the way that you expect them to. Baker, what do you do now to your locker room if Baker, your quarterback, who has done all of these things for you, who has given you tremendous success, and again, they're not winning Super Bowls right now with Baker, but I think he gives them a really good chance, especially in a division that is imminently winnable. The NFC's really tough, so maybe I can't say that. He gives them a shot. He can get them to the playoffs, right? He can give them a chance.
Not a good division.
Not a good division. But it's a good roster in Tampa. It has been historically a good roster in Tampa. They've got some attrition this year, more than most years. I just think you poison pill your locker room immediately when you piss your quarterback off, who's been nothing but good soldier the whole way through.
Yeah, I could also see Baker playing like a maniac this year because suddenly he's on a prove-it deal. Like he's playing for free agency. And so I do think guys will rally around that. I don't know that it'll have a negative impact on the field. But again, like the thing that makes Baker so endearing is also the thing that can and has gotten him into trouble in his NFL career, injury-wise, and playing through injuries and making matters worse. So we'll see how he walks that line in 2026. But interesting stuff. You don't usually hear that from a player, right, during camp, that strong of words.
No.
Disrespect, quarterback especially, disrespected, undervalued.
Well, you might hear it from that one. That quarterback, I feel like, has disrespect in his veins, right?
Yeah.
But
Zach asked a question that we could talk about coming up next. Who's more likely to be on a new team next year, Baker Mayfield or C.J. Stroud?
oh, my God, I want to talk about the C.J. Stroud arrival video, too. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. The best hot chicken ever. Not a stretch to say. 615-737-1045, the number. If you would like to participate in the show. Baker Mayfield, a hot topic, it seems, among the audience. We have more people that want to chime in on the Baker Mayfield discussion. You were saying that Baker has been polarizing for over a decade, Lucas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember when Baker really burst onto the scene in 2015. Like, we all know his path, right? Was a walk-on, Texas Tech, transfers to Oklahoma as a walk-on, and really gambles, and ends up bursting onto the scene in 2015. I remember that game at Neyland Stadium like it was yesterday. Like, that was year 3 of the Butch Jones era, and it felt like, okay, here's where Tennessee's going to take a step.
2015, you said a sophomore?
I was a sophomore in college, and Tennessee built up a 17-point lead against that Oklahoma team. I was not at the 2022 Alabama game, but that is the loudest I personally remember Neyland Stadium ever being. That play, it was shaking, absolutely shaking, because Oklahoma came in, and it was just, I can't remember what they were ranked, but Butch botched that game, and Oklahoma came back, won in overtime.
How did he botch it?
The conservative playing not to lose, like foot on the pedal, built up that lead, and then there was one moment where we had the ball 4th and goal on the inch, and Butch kicked the field goal when we had Jalen Hurd on the roster. Like it was a classic case of conservative scared approach on offense for that entire second half, and Oklahoma came back and won. And that's the first time I got introduced to Baker Mayfield, and then he went on to have a very polarizing but successful career at Oklahoma, and now here we are talking about him. And the question that Kroll posed from back in the studio was, who's more likely to be on a new team next year, Baker or Stroud? I mean, at this point, it is Baker, right, because he seems destined for free agency. So it feels like a minus 800 that Baker Mayfield is playing for a different team. But the C.J. Stroud discussion is interesting in and of itself in a prove-it situation for him this season.
He cut his hair and he looks like a goober. Do you see this video of him walking into camp? You should watch it. He looks like he's walking in with a diaper, or he's got like a filled diaper. Look at the way he's walking in these shorts. It's very bizarre. It's like the early 2000s basketball shorts that are basically coming down to your shin. He's got a long white tee on. He cut his hair. Like you would stuff that person in a locker if you saw him in high school. Yes? I don't know how much stuffing people in lockers you were doing in high school.
I feel like that's something that happened in like TV shows. I don't know. I don't know that I ever saw somebody actually get stuffed into a locker.
I definitely saw it during football practice. I also helped one of my teammates fill another teammate that we didn't like's shampoo bottle with Nair, which was not a very nice thing to do. But these things happen in locker rooms. But yeah, C.J. Stroud looks like a bit of a goober coming in to Texans training camp and plays worse than a goober. He has been a disaster. I don't think that's too far of a stretch after getting to the playoff. I mean, he went to the playoffs last year, right? They made it to the divisional round, and he pooped his pants.
He was awful. Awful. Yeah. To the point where, like, you thought, is something wrong?
Yeah.
Like mentally, right? Which is like the worst thing to question.
Cosell thinks it's just about that he needs a cleaner pocket than your average NFL quarterback.
Oh, man.
Which is crazy because it's never going to be clean because you play against Jeff Simmons every other week.
It reminds me of the way we talked about the U.S. men when they crashed out against Belgium, where it was like, no, something's wrong. When every touch is too heavy and every pass is misplaced. Like, no, there's something there. There's a mental block.
Something's getting to them.
That's what it felt like watching Stroud in the playoffs last year. Like,
all season.
No. This is... Yeah, but the way it bottomed out in the postseason, it was like, nah, man, something's up here. This is weird. This is not just an off day here or there.
No, because, I mean, there are too many off days here or there to talk about it. So as far as Baker goes, we're happy to take your phone calls on it. People are interested in chiming in on Baker. Braden in Lafayette is next.
Hey, guys, appreciate you taking my call. Just got a couple things on Baker here. Absolutely a polarizing player, deserves the $50 million a year. If you're giving that to guys like Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, why wouldn't Baker deserve that? He's done a lot in his career. He took the Browns to the playoffs for the first time since the 90s.
and won the playoff game for the first time since the 90s. He deserves it. And just want to hit on the gentleman earlier that spoke on all the ads that Baker was doing. That wasn't because no one's watching the games. Us Browns fans are diehard. We were selling out games and we were going 0-16. Baker was just making an extra buck. Appreciate the call, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you for the call. I can confirm that Browns fans show up no matter how terrible their football team is. I've done several games in Cleveland when they're great. I did that opener with the Titans going to Cleveland against Baker and Jarvis Landry. I almost said Jarvis Brownlee. Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham wearing the Patek Philippe $850,000 watch on the field he got fined for. And the Titans beat them. I've seen the Browns fans show up. I saw the Browns fans show up. Were we just in Cleveland last year? Yeah, that was the Shador game. And there was no reason to watch that football team, and yet Browns fans were still there. So that is I have a tremendous amount of respect for the fan base because they have every reason not to show up, and yet they still do. So I would agree with the caller's point there.
It's interesting. Baker, you would think, has missed more games than he has. And I know the thing with him is
plays through
playing
it, man.
through injuries. And
to his detriment.
Yes, in Cleveland it was certainly to his detriment with how his play dropped off. But he hasn't missed a game since 2022 when he was bouncing around and he wasn't a starting quarterback. So which is kind of crazy. He's played in all 17 each of the last 3 years. His 2024 season, 4,500 yards, 71.4 completion percentage, 41 touchdowns. But he did lead the league in interceptions with 16 and lost fumbles with 13. Or fumbles, sorry. Fumbles in general.
How many did he lose?
2. That's actually crazy.
He fumbled 13 times and only lost 2.
That's insane.
Was that last year? No, that's 2 years ago.
Yeah. And then he led the league in fumbles again last year with 11 and lost 3.
Well, yeah, because I think it was Baker and Levis in 24 that were tied for the most amount of turnovers, total turnovers. Yeah. Levis obviously lost many fumbles and had interceptions all over the place. But we can talk Titans here if you want to, but I kind of want to talk about John Summerall. Did you see this?
The pedicure thing?
Well, I saw the response from Dan Orlovsky. I saw the pedicure thing. I saw the response from Dan Orlovsky. Did you see what Summerall tweeted back at him? It's a picture of Dan Orlovsky sniffing a woman's high heel.
No, I did not.
I thought that was so funny. What are the expectations of the Florida Gators this year with him? Because I kind of love him.
Yeah, he has done a really nice job.
Look at this.
Oh, and Orlovsky's doing that on TV.
Yeah, this is so. It's. I'm completely against pedicures for dudes. Talking about John Summerall.
This is because Summerall's wife did an interview where she was asked what's something people don't know.
She doxed him.
Yeah, what do people not know about John Summerall? She said, "Oh, he loves a pedicure."
I love pedicures.
I've never had a pedicure.
Oh, you got to go.
Not against it at all.
You got to go with Slay. Slay gets them all the time.
Heavily endorsed by Slay.
Basketball players. I mean, you've seen basketball players' feet. They're atrocious. Pedicures are essential for basketball players.
So
I just like the calf massage.
We'll see if he's a good coach. He has been a good coach everywhere he has been, but John Summerall has greatly endeared himself this offseason. He has won every podium he has been at, and he has made people pay attention to him, which is important, I feel like, in this day and age. So expectations for Florida, to me, are in that 6-ish win range. I mean, there's so many question marks. They've got a quarterback battle going on. Maybe it'll be Aaron Philo, the Georgia Tech transfer, who didn't even start. He was Haynes King's backup last year at Georgia Tech. I think their win total, last I checked on FanDuel, was 5.5, maybe 6.5, if I'm not mistaken. But he's got Florida fans juiced, and it's a stark difference between John Summerall and Billy Napier at a podium, because Napier, man, this does not define what you are as a coach, but goodness, he was dull. Like Billy Napier was tough to keep up with.
He just felt like a beat dog.
And it definitely played out in the way that they played. So if Florida plays with half the juice, the energy that John Summerall operates with, then they're going to be a fun watch. They're at the very least going to entertain their fans this year.
I thoroughly enjoy the John Summerall experience in the early going. We got George Walker up here. Are you asking to be interviewed? Would you like to get on a mic, George?
There's things to say.
Did I say something nasty about you? Surely not.
Oh, because he said he thought that the S in Brazil was a typo that you got on some.
Did you think this was a
bootleg
typo?
He's okay, yeah. Buck not very aware of.
Not bright. Not bright.
Yeah. Not great at reading the room.
George flexing his credentials on me. Were you at the World Cup? I covered the World Cup this year.
Eat it. Careful. We give George a headset. That's all we're going to talk about the next 2 hours.
That's the man, George Walker. Always good to see. He came up here just to set me straight. I love that. Makes me happy. 615-737-1045. The number's better vantage point up here, George. I'll be honest with you. Might get some good shots from up here. 615-737-1045. The number if you want to jump in. You are welcome to do so. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is where you can live stream the show if you are so inclined. So we mentioned that Robert Saleh has already spoken today. You may have heard the press conference with Will and Ramon earlier in the morning. A number of different things that I thought were of note today, and we covered a few of them. I want to go back to the J.C. Latham stuff because he is off PUP, but he is not full go. Saleh, as far as the acclimation process goes, the science behind getting these guys to optimal performance, the level of insight that he seems to have about essentially the human body and how to manage all of these guys. And clearly, he's an individual who's in, I would say for a man his age, I don't know how old Saleh is off the top of my head, but he's clearly in good physical condition.
Is he the most jacked coach in the NFL, head coach?
Dan Campbell. Although Dan Campbell's kind of going the way of Vrabel, where he's got a muffin top now. I don't know. You might have said that about Mike.
Campbell's got some years on Saleh too.
5 years ago. What are Dan Campbell's measurables?
Campbell's 50. Saleh 47. Solid name.
Solid 47. Wow.
I would have guessed way younger.
Okay, I take it back. I'll take Saleh. That's pretty good. 47.
I would have guessed like 42.
Hey baby, that's that Lebanese blood. We love to see it. Age well. But his involvement in the sports science of this seems to be a heavy part or a huge component of who he is as a coach and how he optimizes the diet for these guys, how he optimizes the strength and conditioning, right? They have a very specific protocol for return to play. And you might say, well, is that not the standard for NFL teams? What was the standard? What was the return to play protocol under Vrabel? You remember?
Remind me.
It's him with a chest pad working you out. That's the return to play protocol. Yeah. And in some cases,
very sophisticated.
right. It's a high level science, right? Okay, can you beat me? Because then you can go out there and play football. And you might say, okay, well, there's something to that. And I do respect a hands-on approach where it comes to getting in the mix with these guys. But I think Saleh, what are your impressions of him? Because I think Titans fans have him misread, but not in a bad way.
Why?
I think they want him or are trying to manifest the next Vrabel a little bit in terms of personality and demeanor and the way that he carries himself. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have that in his bag, and he's obviously animated when he's calling the defense, and people have seen him on the sideline in San Francisco, but this man is so analytically driven, it seems, in terms of how he goes about his process and their process and the way that he has his hands in everything. It's far more observational than it is, hey, you're going to hear me out there. You're going to notice me out there. Whereas Vrabel, you noticed him all over the place. Callahan, I couldn't tell you where he was at any given point. Usually with the offense, which was to the not to the liking of the defensive players that he was the head coach of. Saleh is just so much more laid back and studying things at every turn. And I'm not saying that that's a bad personality trait because they've got Aaron Whitecotton, right, to be the juice guy. They got Brian Dable to be the juice guy. Greg Lewis, the wide receivers coach, is one of those guys. So this staff has those personalities. Bones is obviously all over the place on a regular basis. We have a front row seat to Bones Fossil up here from the SeatGeek Terrace. But I'm curious to know what your impressions of Saleh have been, and I wonder what Titans fans' impressions of Saleh have been.
I mean, he comes off like a man in charge. He's calculated, and I think it's a question. I think there's confidence. Great confidence in Robert Saleh from Titans fans because of how putrid the Jets are as an organization. And it's not to say that Saleh made zero mistakes during his time with the Jets, but it did feel like it was as no-win a situation as we've seen for a first-time head coach, right? Like, what's another recent situation where you just think Yeah, man, I don't know who's going to get you out of that situation, right? When Aaron Rodgers goes down. Number one, Aaron Rodgers basically force-fed Nathaniel Hackett as the offensive coordinator to start things off, and then to go down with the Achilles right out of the gate. Like, the
and
ownership.
Then to replace Nathaniel Hackett with Todd Downing.
Right. The ownership situation. So Saleh feels like a man that is more in control of things here. Like, this feels like it's his team more than the Jets felt like it was his team, because the Jets are just all over the place by nature, and that's Woody Johnson's team, and they can't stay out of that negative spotlight. So I think so much of the excitement that Titans fans have stems from how horrible an organization the Jets are, and he just seems like a man in charge.
We will continue the conversation. Titans practice almost wrapped up for the day. We've got about a half hour more, and then we can tell you what happened on the practice field today, or rather Ben Jones and Robert Walsh can tell you what happened on the practice field today. We'll look forward to that as well. 615-737-1045 if you want to join the conversation. What are your initial impressions of Robert Saleh as a Titans fan? I'd be curious to know, versus what my impressions of him have been from the first couple of months of learning who this man is and how he's going to do business here in Tennessee. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. 615-737-1045, the number if you want to participate. We would be happy to have that participation. Ben Jones, former Titans center, is out here doing some good work for us on the practice field. We will get Benny's practice observations once practice has concluded for the day, which will be in just about a half hour from now. Wan'Dale Robinson will join us up here as well. Maybe we'll even have a Moonshine Mariani appearance. I know Mark's running around out here, not literally. I wonder how well Mark runs anymore. You ever wonder that when guys like that have that kind of explosive speed? Like, does Mark ever feel the need to kind of kick it into gear every once in a while? He's like, nah, I'm good. my body does not need to feel like that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Could Mark get out there on some of these punt return drills?
Kirby says bet he could. I'm going to bet against that. with all due respect to the great Mark Moonshine Mariani, I think we might be a little past that phase of his career. He's now a realtor. It always makes me happy when I'm wandering around Germantown in my neighborhood and I see the sold by Mark Mariani or brought to you by Mark Mariani signs. That makes me very happy to see. Robert has done us a great service by getting the Zoom back up and operating. You better say that while you're walking away. Come over here with your water bucket. Do that on camera for people to see. We should at least get something out of that. This man has a 1987, what is that? Is that a Stanley? Is that an Igloo? A 1987?
Oh yes,
Igloo
my
cooler.
goodness.
Oh, daddy, that he is drinking directly from, and is dumping down the front of himself. Is it hot in the sun? Are you struggling out there today?
Is it cold in the shade? What the hell do you think? I'm out
Why
of
are
breath.
you breathing so hard?
Because I had to run over here because it's all of a sudden the camera.
I watched you waddle over
The camera's not working.
There was no running.
Oh, we've never been on a remote before.
I don't think I've ever seen you run. I would like to see you
I don't
run.
know how to fix this. Someone please.
Maybe we
make
do
it
that.
so everyone out there can see us. Oh, gosh.
I need to be seen. I'm a peacock. I need to be seen.
So I'm like, oh, something terrible has happened. They don't know how to fix this. And I get up here and it's like, oh, they just had to rejoin the Zoom. Oh, I'm glad I walked up all these steps and left practice to
not
go
the
do
brightest
this.
You can
of minds
see.
up here.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, who is that? Number 164? Like, what the hell are we talking about?
Okay, relax. The drama. Are you having a good time?
I was. I was
All
having
right.
a great time.
Okay, well, you can leave.
Goodbye.
Thank you for your service. Well done by all. Just make Joseph stand up here. What the hell's Joseph doing out here anyway? Get his ass up here. Make him do his actual job, which is, as far as I'm concerned, engineering and producing, which would involve the camera situation. Unbelievable. Anyway, how much do we want to talk about Femi Oladejo?
He is a very important player, I would say, to the Titans' ceiling. Like, how much higher is the Titans' ceiling as a pass rush if Femi takes a meaningful leap in year 2?
Kroll, can I hear that clip from Saleh on Femi this morning? There may be a couple on Femi Oladejo that are worth playing here, but I'll take you at dealer's choice because we did ask Robert Saleh several questions about the 2025 second-round pick for this team.
We limit everyone's job on defense. Like I said, our nickel has maybe 5 techniques that he's got to know. And so, I think Aaron will blow this building up if I drop the D lineman. So, even though it's going to happen a couple of times. But that's not what they're meant to do in our system. Our system is meant for them to go forward, to set edges, attack the line of scrimmage, and get to the quarterback. And that's what we're going to ask them to do.
So he was asked specifically about, Femi's a converted off-ball linebacker, right, at UCLA, and he was coming in here as an edge guy in a different defensive scheme.
He came in with less than a season of experience as an edge.
Yes.
When he was drafted.
And was drafted in the second round as a developmental player. They are saying we are going to make this as simplistic as humanly possible on these guys. And I'm sure from a football player standpoint, that's a dream, right? You don't want to have to think about all the different things, all the different checks and language and all these different, especially on defense, right? You, as a defensive lineman, you just want to put your hand in the ground and go. You heard Ben talking about Jeff Simmons. I mean, how much better could Jeff get? Right? Like, if he's talking about this is the perfect defensive system for Jeffrey Simmons, how much better can Jeffrey Simmons be?
Yeah.
That's an insane thing to think about coming off a career year statistically, individually for Jeffrey. I can't imagine where he is an improved player from last year's Jeff.
And Jeff somehow looks
great,
better than he did last year. Somehow.
What did Saleh say? I hate to talk about a guy's body, but the dude's yoked.
Yeah.
If I was him, I'd walk around with my shirt off all the time.
I mean, he's
doing Pilates.
He looks like he's ready to
loves his Pilates.
Take it to another level. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Jeffrey Simmons in this defense should be so enticing to Titans fans, man, in 2026. If they really can. Now, it is a lot easier to say, like on paper, the idea of Jeff being platooned, right, and maximizing Jeffrey Simmons by limiting his snap count and having him on the field for those 3rd and longs to get after the quarterback. But Jeff is by far the best run stopper on this football team at the same time, right? So, that's all great in theory until you're giving up 5-6 yards a carry with Jeffrey Simmons sidelined, right? And then you need him on the field. So we'll see how it plays out. And I do feel good about this team's depth on the defensive line and its ability to stop the run. But the best case scenario for Jeff in this solid defense is really fun to think about.
And so Femi, how Femi gets involved in this rotation and whether Femi plays a more meaningful role is something that I'm curious about. Kroll, do you have another Femi clip back there handy? Because Saleh was talking about incredible effort, like something that he would stand on the table and scream about Femi Oladejo if you made him, declare one thing about Femi Oladejo today. I apologize. I know you gave us numbered clips here as far as what you pulled from this morning's press conference. But if you do have another Femi clip, I'd be curious to hear it at your convenience.
Yeah, one thing I'll say with Fem is, he looks good coming off the bus, right? I mean, he looks awesome. The other thing I'll tell you is that I will put myself on a chair and scream that he will play with elite effort and strain. Like, that is unquestioned. Just being with him through OTAs and the first day. You're right, he's raw in the sense that he has not had a lot of opportunity to rush the passer and to do the things that we're going to ask, but I've got a lot of confidence in the fact that he's going to, at minimum, produce enough just based off his effort, his length, his athleticism, his tenacity, his strain, and we'll continue to develop the skill set that he needs to be able to win those one-on-ones on a consistent basis. So he's a young man. He's raw to the position in terms of what we're going to ask him to do, but he's got the mindset and the athletic traits that we covet to attack from a developmental standpoint.
So that is Robert Saleh talking about Femi Oladejo. We think we might get Femi today at the podium. We haven't heard from him. I don't know if we talked. I think we did talk to him on locker room cleanout day. Because remember, he's in that weird spot. That leg break happened in, leg fracture.
Week 6.
Week 6, and he never played again. Like, they cleared him to return. They opened up his window, but they never officially designated him. They never officially activated him.
Yeah.
If I recall. And he was, I've never fractured. Have you ever fractured a bone? Broken a bone?
No, I've never broken a bone.
I haven't either. So I couldn't tell you what the timeline or the recovery is. And especially dealing with, NFL players and the different things that they're asked to do and the different strains that their bodies are under. But I thought it was weird that they cleared Femi when they did, really with about, I'd say about a month left in the season, and we just never saw him out there on the field. I have not heard much about him. He has had limited opportunities, as Saleh has said. What do you make of the idea that is it enough for Femi in year 2 if it's just the best effort that you could possibly give, even if the technique is not there yet? Because the technique can't possibly be there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he has never played an entire season as an edge rusher because of the injury last year. So, yeah, that's a good question. Like, how do we frame expectations for Femi, understanding the situation that he's in?
Because, a second-round pick is a meaningful investment.
And a high second-round pick.
That guy's got to play.
Yeah, top 35 pick. What did Femi go? 33 overall?
I don't recall that off the top of my head.
Yeah, that is a fringe first-round pick. So, yes, you take into account the developmental background and how much of a project Femi Oladejo always has been since he stepped foot into the NFL. But at the same time, he carries that weight of expectation of a fringe first-round draft pick. So I feel like you have to see some sort of meaningful improvement. Femi does not have to be a 7-sack player, right, that takes this big leap. Doesn't have to be a Pro Bowl caliber edge rusher, but he has to look like he can play that position in the NFL this season and prove that he can stay healthy for a whole year.
615-737-1045 is the number if you want to join the conversation. In the final hour, we will have a ton going on. Ben Jones is here, and he is going to co-host the final hour with us. He is watching practice and will give us his observations, as will Big J Burt, who has been taking practice notes out there as well. We will speak with Wan'Dale Robinson, who, Lucas, I don't know if did you watch his media availability?
Yeah.
There was a lot of good stuff there. I may ask him, I know he talked about Rondale Moore yesterday.
Yeah.
I might ask him again because we didn't carry that media availability, and I don't know that the entire audience has heard it. So not to get into retreads, but I do want to ask him about that. I also understand he has a Kobe Bryant tattoo, and I don't know if it's inappropriate to ask him where. Is every pro athlete's favorite athlete, Kobe?
It feels like that, man. Like I know
that's the Mamba mentality stuff, right?
That's the case for Cam.
Woo! I can't say what just happened.
That was awesome.
Okay. Well, we can update you at the end of practice. What's happening out here at the Titans practice facility? Because, again, there are no fans in attendance, which means practice reports are embargoed until practice ends. Practice is scheduled to end at 12:15 today. Stick around. It's a fun final hour coming your way here on 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? What's happening, good people? Let me go on and tell you while you're walking into your weekend what you need to be looking for. That is a truck. Yeah, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They're going to take care of you. All you got to do is slide in there and let them know, hey, man, Big Slay told me. And they will look out for you. Go in there and holler at my guys, Trey, Matt. They're going to be right there to help you walk through the process of going to get your truck. And guess what? It's nothing that's going to be pressure, no high pressure, just low pressure approach, no gimmicks, no pushy sale tactics. That's not what they're about. They're about getting the job done and getting you comfortable and understanding exactly what you're getting into. It's a one-stop shop. If you need service, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They are the ones you need to be looking for. When it comes to the right vehicle, they got you covered. Even a body shop, service, financing, sales, they got it, all of that. All you got to do is go to 1319 Foster Avenue. Visit mid10fordtrucks.com.
A day at the spa, the perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, or any occasion. Lavish and luxurious, yet affordable. A grand gesture, yet simple for you. The gift card from A Moment's Peace. Give her the gift she won't buy herself. An escape, a bit of luxury. Something special that shows more than just words. A gift from A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa in Cool Springs across I-65 from Galleria Mall. Call 615-224-0770 or go online at amomentspeace.com anytime.
Seconds away from 12 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center as it is day 2 of Titans training camp under Robert Saleh, who spoke before practice today, confirming that tackle J.C. Latham is off the physically unable to perform list. So no Titans are on the PUP list as of now at the start of camp. In other NFL news, Baker Mayfield with some strong words down in Tampa, saying in his press conference that he felt disrespected by the franchise, that they could not reach an agreement on a new contract. Baker telling ESPN's Jeremy Fowler he wanted to get into that $50 million per year range that currently 13 NFL quarterbacks are in. Baker Mayfield set to be a free agent at the end of the season. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
All right, it's over. Practice is over for the day. We are happy to have you for the final hour, where we will have former Titans center Ben Jones give us his practice observations, where we will talk to Wan'Dale Robinson about what happened at practice today. Robert Walsh will return to us at some point, and we will go through all the minutia, the fine details of what you need to know from Titans training camp day 2. Welcome back to the show. We're happy to have you. Lucas is here with us as well. Ooh, we got a little breaking Vols news. Kroll, do you know where the button for that is? Do you have the laser light show for the breaking Vols news handy? At your convenience. You let me know when you're ready, and we'll go.
Breaking Vol Network news.
Ooh, spicy, because famously they had some attrition.
Yes.
This offseason. All right, let's go.
The Vol Network has announced former Tennessee wide receiver and host locally on WNML in Knoxville, Jaxson Swain, the new color analyst for Tennessee football.
Nice.
Obviously, our guy, Ramon Foster, left the Vol Network. He will be the Titans color analyst on Titans Radio this season. Jaxson Swain was already in the booth with Ramon and Mike Keith and all of those guys. He will just shift into that analyst role next to the legend Mike Keith. So
Very cool. Congratulations to Swain.
No doubt. He's not new to the Vol Network, obviously. He has provided analysis on pregame, halftime, postgame. He hosts the Josh and Swain show along with Josh Ward on our sister station over there, The Sports Animal. He has hosted his own podcast, The Swain Event, for a very long time in the Knoxville area. And he will be the voice next to Mike for the 2026 season.
Very cool. So, again, congratulations to Jaxson Swain. We're very happy for him, and we look forward to hearing him on the broadcast with Mike Keith this fall. So, a pretty seamless transition there from Ramon. Obviously, Ramon going to be doing Titans radio analysis this coming season and for seasons to come. It sounds like. There's yelling going on in the practice field. What's happening out there? Everybody's dapping each other up? We've got factions of players splitting off, which means that they're talking with their respective position coaches, and I'm sure Wan'Dale Robinson has is that him over there on the jugs? No, that's a little too thick to be Wan'Dale Robinson. He's a very, very diminutive player. Is he the smallest player in the NFL?
Good question.
He might be. I'd be curious to know what his perceived advantages or disadvantages of lack of size have provided him. If there's ways in which he can just get lost, or the defense can just simply lose him because of sight. If there's ways that he can get, I've seen him get under defensive backs to make catches that are low to the ground.
It was Deuce Vaughn, but he now plays for the Orlando Storm in the UFL.
Excellent.
5'5" running back. Remember him out of Kansas State. He was a fun player in college. So yeah, I don't know who is the smallest active player in the league.
I bet he's got a case. I bet Wan'Dale Robinson is probably one of the,
got to
if
be
not
like
the
5'6" running back,
smallest players in the NFL. So we'll talk to him about whether that is an advantage or a disadvantage.
Boston Scott, the Eagles running back,
low guy,
is 5'6".
Okay.
Oh no. Oh, he hasn't been in the league in 2 years.
Yeah, Boston Scott's been gone for a while.
Never mind.
So anyway, we will look forward to Ben Jones and Wan'Dale Robinson and all other good things to recap Titans practice with. We got B-Hop in the background. Doing a little Titans radio sideline this year, too. Always good to see Brad Hopkins.
The whole crew is out here.
It's always nice to see everybody. Training camp is fun for a number of different reasons, but it's always good to get the gang back together, for lack of a better term. So as far as what we saw from our vantage point today, Lucas, the numbers are difficult for us to read because, again, they're practicing on Field 3, so we'll get more specifics from Robert. It did look like Carnell Tate just had more of the same today, and I'm sure, in fact, I can probably read you Teron Davenport's practice observations, not to steal TD's practice observations, but I am curious to know what further details we saw. You noticed Mitch Trubisky had a really nice touchdown pass earlier in the practice.
Trubisky had a bomb down the left side of the field for a touchdown. I was unable. We're too far away. I could not see who ended up hauling it in. I'm sure somebody will be able to tell us that at some point. But, yeah, Carnell Tate. My powder remains wet on Carnell Tate.
Bryce Oliver is who caught the Trubisky bomb.
There we go.
60-plus yards down the field, according to Teron. I'm reading TD's practice notes. Julius Chestnut had a nice run, got to the second level, and ran away from the defense. Good block by Garrett Dillinger, who Titans fans may not be super familiar with yet, but he's a journeyman offensive lineman who is competing for a spot on this team. Teron also notes Ward to Wan'Dale Robinson on a speed out, tipped off Robinson's hands, and Cedric Gray picked it off along the sideline. So Cam Ward with his first training camp interception. James Williams also picked off Mitch Trubisky today. Oh, and Anthony Hill got a pick off Mitch Trubisky. So a lot of interceptions for the defense today.
Okay.
Like a lot of activity from the linebackers specifically today. 615-737-1045, the number. If you would like to participate, you are welcome to do so. I see Ben and Marianne making their way up here, so we'll get their observations here shortly. Is there a player that we haven't touched on that you're curious about? 'Cause I feel like we have not talked much about the defense other than the defensive line. We have not talked about the corners. We have not talked about the linebackers. I mean, at some point we'll do positional players, right?
No, Anthony Hill is a player that I'm very intrigued by. Like, this dude was a monster at Texas. This dude could do everything for Texas in that defense, and I feel like the Titans were really high on him. We're thrilled to get him where they did. I would not be like, this is sight unseen, right? 2 days into a non-padded training camp practice, but would it be that surprising for Anthony Hill to start at linebacker for this team?
No, in fact, I think that's the expectation. Yeah, right? Going back to the Femi conversation, that's the expectation for a second-round pick, a high second-round pick, a guy you traded up for, right? They traded up for Falk.
Yeah.
They traded up for Hill. They didn't have a pick again until, Carmona in the 5th round?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. So they're looking at a situation where they need instant impact from these young guys across the board, not just last year's class, but this year's class too. And that'll be the case, right, until this thing, if you're a Titans fan, you hope it gets up and running in an operable fashion. In a competent fashion here in the not-too-distant future.
Yeah, so Anthony Hill and Cedric Gray as sort of the centerpieces for the future of the linebacker position, 2 players within the first couple of years of their career. We have not talked a lot about this defense as a whole, apart from the front 7 and how exciting, how enticing it is to picture Jeffrey Simmons in this scheme and pairing up with John Franklin Myers. But I just continue to be fascinated by the amount of players, and we're going to talk to one of them in Wan'Dale Robinson, that are new to this team but are not new to the schemes that they'll be playing in and to the coaches that they're playing for, and in some cases, players they'll be playing with. And I think that was a huge topic of the offseason with the moves that they made in free agency. Like, I can't remember how many we counted up, how many players were brought in that had ties to either Saleh or Dable.
It was like 26.
It was like the majority of the guys that they brought in.
And that's what you're looking for, right? And I remember asking Mike Borgonzi about that at owners' meetings, where he's like, yeah, it just so happened that the guys that we had at the top of the board, the free agent board, JFM, Wan'Dale Robinson, have both played for Dable and Saleh, right? It can be, what's the word I'm looking for? It can be, some level of continuity, of course, but it's also the way that their board was set up for free agency. He was also talking about how they have a waiver claim board that's similar to their draft board the other day when we did the opening press conference of training camp. So there is some parallels here between, all right, who was available, and yeah, you just so happen to hire, 2 former head coaches in this cycle, 3 if you count Bradley, who have some level of familiarity with all these guys. Ben, if you're ready, we'll get you going on some practice observations.
Let's get you on headset.
That would be lovely. Ben, yes, you're allowed to talk practice. So I will tell you, Ben, you cannot tell the audience coach to player interactions if you observe them. You cannot tell the audience specific formations.
Okay.
But the rest of it, good to go.
You can't say if they're if a player's going in motion, right? We can't say that. We can't say who's being utilized in the backfield.
No, I think that's fair game. I mean, for God's sakes, Teron just tweeted the entire starting offensive line lineup. So
you're Ben Jones. You can say whatever you want.
Ben, you do what you want, and I will wear whatever mistakes get made with Puff and the PR staff after the fact.
I got Puff under control. Don't worry about Puff.
I don't know. Puff a wild card. Puff's a wild card.
I can send you pictures of Puff with full baby powder.
I have pictures of Puff from the combine that I may release at some point when I get fired. So your takeaway, what did you set out? Were you interested in starting with a position group in particular? Did you kind of just make the rounds, kind of lay out for us how you wanted to take in practice before we get into specifics?
Yeah, I went down and watched some individual drills, just seeing how they structured their ND, how they worked, if it's more one-on-one, if they split up guards, tackles, centers, how they did it. Then I went down and watched the team aspect of it, the offensive period where they were just on air, how they're executing that. I would have loved that as a player instead of just being Indy forever with Keith, getting a little break to go down there and snap the ball and move around a little bit. That'd been great. But, yeah, then you go out there and see them compete, from moving the ball to some red zone stuff to third downs. It was back and forth practice, what you want to see.
How much contact is there in these practices with no pads?
It's the exact same for an offensive lineman if you're in just a helmet or full pads. So that's why we always want on pads, because you're going the exact same speed.
Really?
Sucks.
Like you don't dial it back at all?
At all. This is your job and livelihood. You're not getting embarrassed.
So, like, instead of punching a chest plate, you're just punching a chest.
Yes. Instead of putting your helmet on a shoulder pad to flip it, you're hitting it straight on a clavicle. So we're like, don't call runs in this period. Call pass, yes, we'll use our hands. Defense, you better not bull rush. But, yeah, if they call a run, a gap run like they're running, yes, you're getting two shoulders into the chest and the D lineman and stuff like that. So that's why temperatures flare a little bit. People get a little mad because some guys are vets and don't want to get hit like that. And a rookie and a young guy's like, I got to do this. So you understand.
Need to do this.
Yeah.
So these guys are looking forward to putting pads on.
Absolutely.
I saw a Joe Burrow clip the other day, Ben, where he was asking one of his offensive linemen, and I apologize for not knowing who the lineman was, but he just asked the lineman, is playing offensive line fun? And I would like to know your response to that, because I think you had fun, but I also know what the hell you did to your body, and none of that sounds fun at all.
It was fun because it's no other position on that field I could play. Like, that was where I could have fun at. Like, I could be myself. I could help the team win and be a part of something special. I wasn't gifted enough to play D-line or play tight end or quarterback. That was my role on the team, to be the guy who could practice every day, bring guys along, and everybody's got to have a role guy, and that was my role.
Who was the player in your career, whether in Houston or here, that just gave you the most nightmares to face in camp? Your teammate?
Yeah, J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
He's smart. He knew what to do. He knew our cadence. He knew our calls. So it was like, dude, come on. We're in shorts and a helmet, and you're going to bull rush so you can block the ball and shake your finger at us? Like, yes, we got it in practice. Like, turn down for Watt and all that, yes. How much we hate him.
Turn down for Watt.
Oh, you remember hearing that in the stadium. Turn down for Watt.
Wait, what about your Titans career then? Titans teammate that just
Jeff.
was a nightmare.
It had to be Jeff.
Jeff was by far the best on the interior.
Jeff or Jarrell, I would think, yeah.
Jarrell was quick, but he knew how to practice. Like, Jarrell wasn't on the bull rush you in helmets. Jeff does the same thing every time. Like, he's got an attitude. You want him on your team. But if you beat him, you better buckle up, because you know the next rep, like, oh, here we go. We woken him up.
How often did you beat him?
Oh, you would know, because he'd fight you the next play. But that's Jeff. That's what you want. Like, as a teammate, hey, I knew I was going to get it, and we were going to walk in that locker room. We're going to be good, because I'm like, Jeff, I deserve that. I shouldn't have hit you that hard in the helmet. But if I didn't, you were going to let me have it. So you got the battles. That's count. You're supposed to have some temperatures flare.
The audience is going to want daily Cam Ward updates, up to the minute Cam Ward updates. I just ask you generally for your observations of Cam's day. I know several interceptions by several quarterbacks were thrown today.
Yeah, you can give credit to the D-line and the different disguises and the pressure. He had people in his face the whole day, so he's throwing at different arm angles, just trying to get the ball out and trying to deliver the ball. It's hard to really sit on a bull rush in shorts and a helmet, so hopefully that cleans up a little bit when you're working on third down. That's not in favor of him. Give the credit to defense. They really came alive in third down. They had tight coverage, and they got after the O-line right there.
It has to be the biggest disadvantage of any position group in camp to be an offensive lineman not in pads, right?
I would say that and receivers. It's a lot of tugging going on. You see some flags thrown out there, receivers.
No refs today for what it's worth.
Yeah, and you got to see, like, a receiver in pads. You don't think they use their body in tight ends. That's how they get open. They run through shoulders. Hey, I'm going to hit you at the line of scrimmage. That's the way they make space. You wouldn't think they want pads on, but a lot of guys don't want to wear pants, but they want to have pads on the upper body. So if they jump, they fall, they fine. And if they're able to run through stuff, it protects them also. DBs never want pads.
I know you're familiar with Carnell Tate. I mean, he's obviously been a high-level college player for several years at this point in time. The way that we've been describing him to people is simply he's as advertised. Like it's not necessarily more. It's certainly no less. But he just seems to have the catch radius of a garage door, Ben.
Yeah, he's very fluid. He looks polished. He runs the right routes. He's got sticky hands. You see why he's drafted that high. His thing is going to be able to do it week in and week out versus different coverages, different looks, because, yes, either they're going to cover him, Calvin. If they're all available with Wan'Dale, that makes it a lot easier. So if we're healthier, he's going to get more advantageous looks. So he should be celebrating everybody out there on the field. The more people are healthy, the more one-on-one coverages, the more times he can go to work.
Well, I'm not asking something Titans related.
Oh, okay. I have one more, and then we can pivot. Wan'Dale Robinson's going to be on, and if you want, Ben, you're welcome to be a part of the interview. We always enjoy your perspective. It looks like Wan'Dale's making his way over, so we're probably about, I'd say, a couple minutes away. In fact, why don't we take a break here, and then we'll be with Wan'Dale Robinson and Ben Jones when we come back. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. It's not even a question. We got Wan'Dale Robinson hanging out here with us after practice. Good to see you.
Yes, sir. Good to see you all. Glad to be up here.
Yeah, it's a little crowded. We got the whole crew. We got Ben Jones, Lucas hanging out, Robert and Kirby doing whatever the hell it is that Robert and Kirby do. So for the audience who hasn't had the opportunity to see practice today, how would you describe it for them? How was the feel? How was the pace?
Today was a little bit more up-tempo than yesterday. It was a little bit more aggressive being third down and some more down and distances that we kind of have to convert on. And defense bringing a little bit more pressure and us just having to be able to convert. So definitely would say the defense won today, so we got to get them back the next time we come out there. So,
how ahead of the game do you feel having worked so much with Brian Daboll already?
Oh, I mean, tremendous. I mean, this is my 5th year in this offense, and not really having to learn anything at all. It's more so just kind of out there kind of teaching and figuring out where Cam wants me to be on certain routes and things like that. But really being able to know exactly what all 5 spots everybody has been really good for me.
Yeah, I could definitely tell you felt comfortable sitting down in some different zone coverage when they were popping out a double mug.
Yeah.
And he delivering the ball right there for you, squeezing down, getting down and not taking the shot.
Mm-hmm.
That is, people don't understand, that is smart football.
Yeah.
Like not taking the extra hit when it's not there, getting the third down and keeping the chains moving. Just talk a little bit about Cam, seeing it and how you're helping him. Hey, this is where I'm going to be in this coverage. Hey, if it's man, this is what this is how I'm trying to work my move. So how much communication are you having with Cam early on?
I mean, pretty much since I got here, anytime we started watching tape, watching anything, it was just kind of like asking what would I do here. I would ask him, like, where would you want me on this route? Just making sure that we're just always communicating. I run so many routes that I have a lot of different options to go a lot of different places. So just making sure that we're always on the same page, and especially on those third downs whenever we got to keep the chains moving.
Absolutely.
Maybe sometimes it's uncomfortable to hype yourself up as far as, your impact and things like that, but your skill set and the options, how dangerous does that make you within this offense? Because a lot of people looked at the signing and said, well, is it that critical that Brian Daboll has to have Wan'Dale Robinson? And then you look at the impact that you had, and it's clear.
I mean, I like to say it's a big part of what we do. A lot of times it's an extension of the run game. A lot of times it's go get open on third down. So really, sometimes with the option routes, it's just like we need to play. We need to start the drive. We need to get going on offense. And I feel like that's what I do on those type of plays. So.
When you guys are off for as long as you are, and it felt like a little bit longer this year, right, with everything sort of being pushed back, the Super Bowl's at a later date, how do you approach that layoff in terms of unplugging versus trying to stay in shape to make sure that you can hit the ground running? Because I feel like that is in some other universe where I had a semblance of athleticism, I feel like that is the thing I would struggle most with, Wan'Dale, is to totally unplug but still have to have that mindset of I better be in shape when I get to camp. How do you try to ride that line coming into training camp?
I would say whenever we're done with like the OTAs and stuff, it doesn't really stop. I would say there's not really a break. I'd say you only get your real break whenever the season's actually over. Take about a couple weeks, a month. Last year I broke my ribs, so that was kind of my little break. And then after that, it was like, all right, now it's full speed and let's go. Let's get ready for the season. And then after OTAs, it's just like, let's ramp it up a little bit more in the offseason training. So always trying to stay in the best shape as possible.
No doubt about that. People never understood, like, I was on vacation on my honeymoon one year, and I was running half gassers in Bora Bora. Everybody's looking at me like, what is he doing? I'm like, man, I got to run half gassers in 2 weeks when I get back. Nobody understands, like, what we go through playing in this league. Like, yes, I always say I would take off till the Super Bowl. And everybody else is done, now I can start back working.
Right.
So being here, getting used to Nashville, we're thrilled to have you here. And as a player, as an O-lineman, you're the man that helps us keep the drives going and able to run the ball more because you convert on third down. We can't run it every play like we want to. You're the guy that extends drives. So in this offense, is it teaching the young guys, helping the guys? Because I know how vital you and Austin's role is as an offensive lineman, being in this system. So is it you watching extra tape with Calvin and young guys like this? How are you going to bring them along as a unit?
Yeah, I mean, literally every day in meetings, whatever input I can have on a play, knowing that I've already ran it probably, just trying to give any type of input I can to help everybody understand it, what, when, and why we're doing this. Everybody understanding the concept and not just what you have on a certain play. I feel like that's kind of been my big thing, is making everybody understand the whole process of a play and not just learning one spot and getting honed in on just playing Z or X or F, just really learning everything. So
yeah, that's so important because if you know why, hey, I'm running this clear out route to get you open on this play. Like, yes, I'm going to do it hard on this play, so you clear it out for me on the next play.
Right.
Nobody understands like how receivers really have to work together to get open. It's timing, it's this, but it's a brotherhood. Just like an offensive line, we're working together every play. Y'all are doing the same thing out there in space.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we all want to see each other succeed. So whenever, I have a clear out route for Carnell, I know I'm going to keep running and run as hard as I can, and I know he's going to do the same thing for me, and vice versa with all the other receivers.
Titans wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson hanging out here with us after training camp practice. Very kind of him to make some time. We'll let him get on with his day here in just a little bit. As far as Cam seemed excited as hell when you signed. Hell, he crashed. I think he crashed the Zoom call that we had with you after you signed. His personality. People are learning more about him who don't get to see him on a daily basis at practice. The Netflix quarterback series has been out. What can you tell the audience about Cam that they might not necessarily know as far as what he is like to work with?
And do you actually have the key to his house?
I mean, I ain't gonna put that out there, but I do go over there whenever I want. But I mean, we've been tight ever since I got here, and I mean, he's just one of the guys. And then on the field, like I said yesterday, he's not gonna sugarcoat anything for anybody. Which you want a quarterback like that. You don't want him just being buddy, and then whenever you step on the field, he's the same way. I want a guy that's kind of have that killer mentality whenever he's out there and wants to win. So,
how important is that to just sometimes the truth may be uncomfortable as far as getting it right, but you guys have so little time to get these things right. And in game, it's chaos. As far as the just direct approach, how important is that on the football field?
I mean, I think it's really important, especially just to be comfortable to do it, like knowing it's not coming from a bad place. We're all trying to go out there and win and do our job. So obviously, whenever the quarterback wants something, we all kind of got to get on the same page. So that's why I'm always there for him whenever he needs anything. If I need to communicate anything to any of the other guys, always there for him.
You've got a Kobe tattoo. Okay, where is the Kobe tattoo?
It is right here behind my ear.
Okay.
Yep, right there.
And so for the audience who may be able to see it, there we go. Mamba mentality.
Let's go. Right.
All right, is every athlete's favorite athlete Kobe Bryant?
I mean, I wouldn't say every athlete. I mean, I would say from a mentality standpoint,
right,
for sure. I don't think the mentality got any better than Kobe, but I mean, obviously there's a lot of athletes that you want to grow up and be like, but from that mentality standpoint, Kobe's the one that everybody definitely probably strives to be. So.
Well, Wan'Dale, we know you've got a busy rest of your day ahead, and looking forward to seeing what you guys are able to do this season. Appreciate your time and continued health and success.
Yeah, no, thank you all.
That's Wan'Dale Robinson hanging out here with us at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, except it's not called that anymore. Damn it, I got to stop saying that. Vanderbilt Health Football Center.
Thank you.
One day, I'll get it.
Thanks, Wan'Dale.
Appreciate you, stud. Should we stay right here? Who's at the podium, as a matter of fact? It looks
like a coach, maybe?
It shouldn't be a coach, not after practice. God knows that.
Jermaine Johnson just spoke.
Okay.
Got a hat on.
It might be Femi. Oladejo. Kroll,
Dan Moore. That is Dan Moore.
Actually, that's one worth hearing. Kroll, why don't you pitch to Dan Moore at your convenience if you're able? And we will hear from the Titans left tackle because obviously the offensive line situation is much discussed. A lot of hand-wringing, Ben, about the offensive line situation. I mean, for God's sakes, we've been having this conversation for 5 years. What was your last year, 22? 22. Well, let's hear from Dan Moore, who's under some pressure and some scrutiny, and I know he's looking to get it right.
Expand his game. Absolutely, man. We want to keep that guy upright at all times. He's fearless, right? He doesn't care about getting hit. He does not care. But regardless of that, we want to keep him. We want to keep him clean. We want to keep him safe and feeling comfortable in the backfield. So we've definitely had communication with Cam as far as, pocket presence and just what he needs from us in terms of protection. And if anything is below that bar, then he's going to let us know.
How do you think that your game needs to evolve to not only help with that, but also help with the system that you're now in?
Absolutely. I got to play to the ability that I know I can play to. I won't even say anything about contracts or what coaches think. I know the standard that I have set for myself is higher than with any other person's standard. So I know that as long as I do that, I'll be fine.
A lot of talk from Jermaine. They want to get pads on and come at you guys. What scares you when you line up across from someone?
Scares. Jermaine he's a great player. Actually happy we brought Jermaine in. He's going to give us some great work. He's going to get us better. In terms of competition, obviously the D-line, they talk stuff. So it's good team competition, right? And yeah, we'll find out a lot when the pads come on.
You said you won't know what hit you when the pads goes in.
We'll see when
You're
the pads come
saying
on.
you don't get scared when you line up across from anyone?
No.
Go ahead, Joe. On that note, Sala said before the pads come on, defensive line has an advantage, offensive line has a clear disadvantage. Do you feel that way, and how important are these first days before the pads come on?
I hear people saying that about the disadvantages. I won't say disadvantage. I think that we're all protecting each other in certain ways, so those disadvantages by offensive linemen, not being able to use as much grip, no pads and things like that, more feet, technique and stuff like that, but also they're not allowed to really bull rush, get into our chest, so the physicality is definitely brought down without pads. It's definitely forcing you to just use more technique as opposed to willpower.
Challenges you in different ways.
Absolutely.
Did you see a difference in Cam from last year, this year already?
Yeah, he's more aware of just different things that are going on around him. And you have to be that way as a quarterback. You got to know where everybody is, where everybody's supposed to be. You got to know where your O-line's protecting, where you're hot from. Just a lot of different things that obviously as a rookie quarterback you're not going to have. I think Dave is doing a good job of helping him with that awareness and kind of toning some of that fearlessness we talked about earlier down a little bit and just controlling it.
What's the feeling in that room, just as a group, seeing how things kind of matriculate through camp, because there are a couple of open spots that haven't been given out yet, and just how do you approach how that's going to work out?
In the O-line room? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of not I don't really know how to answer that question. I feel like that's more so for a coach, I guess. If you asking me who's gonna start?
Just kind of asking you about how it's going to be an evolution during camp, and ultimately a decision will be made. I'm just curious as a unit. I mean, and you guys will see it as you go along, like what works best and who works best with who. What's it like going through that process?
Yeah. I think for one, it's creating depth for us, regardless of who's out there. I think it's giving us trust in everybody who gets in front of him. Yeah.
What's the biggest difference you've seen in Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon as he comes in year 2 fighting for a swing tackle spot?
He's just more confident, man. He's got some reps. He's got a year under his belt. He kind of knows who he is as a player. Some things that works for him. He's adding some tools to his game. As an offensive lineman, I say it all the time that if your confidence isn't there, then you're not going to be playing well. And I just feel like his confidence is much higher than where he came in at.
All right, thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
New press conference music for the Titans. Very good. That's left tackle Dan Moore speaking with the media. If another player gets the podium, Kroll will let me know, and we will continue to hear from players after day 2 of Titans training camp. 615-737-1045 is how you participate if you're interested. Dan Moore understands the scrutiny. Dan Moore understands that the money is what brings the scrutiny, especially when the performance, coming into the contract year was not ideal as far as the sacks he was giving up. But, reasonable and rational football people will look at Justin Fields in that season and say, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson in that season and say, I don't think that's all on Dan Moore. Robert has come up to the SeatGeek Terrace with smoked wings.
Smoked wings and lasagna.
Together?
Yes.
That's an odd combination.
It's quite the Yesterday it was birria.
Brussels sprouts?
Yesterday it was birria tacos, pasta, and asparagus.
Do you think that they are just dumping the excess food that nobody wants to eat?
That's fine.
In your laps. I do appreciate that they still make an attempt to feed us. When I was not making any money, I used to basically cut my grocery budget in half during training camp because I would just eat all of my meals here. But Dan Moore there responding to questions about the offensive line competency, obviously before the pads come on. I thought that was a really good offensive line, wide receiver, symbiotic conversation with Ben and Wan'Dale. Turns out Ben knows infinitely more about football than we do. and can bring out the better versions of those football conversations. So we're grateful to Ben for making some time, and we'll look forward to having him around again during football season.
Yeah, I love him doing sprints in Bora Bora. Like that. That's the
gassers,
stuff.
not just sprints.
Yeah,
gassers.
Like people don't think about
gassers
it, man.
Suck.
When you have, what was it? How many days off? Like 40 days.
40 this year.
It's a lot of time, and you want to just unplug like anybody else does on vacation.
Sorry, I took your seat.
And there are people that you can use it. There are people that will work out on vacation. Right?
Robert would like us to share a seat. I can't get on the same chair as that ass.
Come on. What are we even talking about?
Flip it upside.
Flip it upside. Oh my goodness! All right, let's go.
Why don't you sit on the fat end of a baseball bat and spin? I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome back to the show from Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Final segment. Practice has concluded. Who is speaking currently?
It looks like Femi.
I'd be interested to hear from Femi Oladejo.
Curl, you said who? Okay, let's go to Femi.
Program just ate well, stayed in the weight room, hot yoga, took care of my body, and just got bigger.
Jermaine Johnson, he had talked about keep it simple process for a guy like you, being able to just attack and go get it, and not have to read as much like you did before. How much does that help you be able to transition into your position?
It's incredible. It helps tremendously. I think when I moved to edge in college at UCLA, that's what it was, just going straight. So to be an assistant that's similar, where I can just go straight and not think, is where money's made.
How much do you like the intensity that White Cotton and Tanzel Smart, like the way that they have you guys in individual period?
No, that's incredible. That's how you compete. That's how you get better. He gets the best out of us. He pushes us, and he helps us know that it's all love at the end of the day. It's no hard feelings. It's no tension, nothing like that.
We keep saying year two. Does this feel like year two, or does this feel like year one, part two, with how much time you were in and out last year?
I still feel like year two. Obviously, I was in the building the whole time, and I actually only played, 5 or 6 games, but you learn from it, you move on, and you take it as a lesson and not a loss.
How hard was it back in the spring to not be out here and learning with the teammates? I know you had the stuff in the film room, but just how tough was that period for you?
Yeah, it was tough. Kind of like what I just said. You learn from it. You take it as a lesson, and you take it as an opportunity to take more care of your body and to stay on point.
Coaching changes are difficult, to understand where you're going to fit in. But Coach Sala made it known immediately that you were a guy they looked at in the draft process in San Francisco for this defense.
Yeah.
How much did that show up when you first sat down with him?
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
That he already had a plan for you.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't think anything's free. You still got to earn your spot, earn your position. But I obviously had meetings with them in the draft process, but got to still play and get better and learn the system and compete.
Who in this group is maybe taking you under their wing early on? One of the vets that already knows Salah's system is maybe giving you pointers and saying, do it this way.
Yeah, I learned a lot from a lot of the guys, JFM, Jake Martin, Jermaine Johnson, Solomon Thomas, Ernest Brown, all of them. They've all been great vets. Helped me a lot to learn the system and to learn how to be under the system.
Robert talked about how different this is for guys who haven't played it, that some of them almost fall or attempted to fall on their face coming out of their stance with the adjustment. Have you kind of felt that different gravity, and what's the difference actually feel like?
Yeah, you just 4-point stance, hands in the dirt. You just want to get off the ball and stay ready.
Felt that feel at the beginning when you were out there?
You can say so, yeah.
How do you like your head coach, and maybe what has he told you about how good he thinks you can be?
Coach Sal is great, great defensive-minded coach, great overall energy guy, and I think I can fit well in the system and make plays and help the team win.
When's the last time before this that you played with your hand in the dirt, or is it the first time?
Did it a little bit last year, so I'm familiar with it. Now it's just being more consistent.
Being away from the game for so long, what were some of the things that you missed the most about not being able to be out there?
Just being on the field, being with your teammates, the hotel nights for the game, playing on Sunday, things like that.
Keeping your mind right through that process, and what were some of the things you did to make sure that didn't go astray?
Stay strong in my faith, prayer, reading, talking to family, friends, teammates. Support crew is great, so yeah.
Salah said the one thing he's never doubting about you is the effort. Was there any point during this process where the effort, or I don't want to say hope, but where it started to fade a little bit, where you doubted that this was going to come back for you, or were you always pretty confident this would work out?
In terms of effort?
Just in terms of play style in general, did it ever dull for you while you were slowed down, or no?
I wouldn't say so. You got to trust the process, trust your crew. The training staff was great. Like I said, my support crew was great, so just stayed focused. Didn't get too distracted and trusted, like I said, the process.
Where are you on a confidence scale, scheme-wise, as far as exactly what you need to do?
Yeah, with this system, you put your hand in the dirt, you go straight. You can't really lose as long as you're coming off the ball. So I'm pretty confident. Still a lot to learn technique-wise, but like I said, if you come off the rock, you got a great shot.
Do you have a goal in the offseason when you were training, and what's going to be different about the product you put on the field this year?
Repeat that question, please.
Did you have any goals when you were training in the offseason, something you were focused on specifically, whether it's skill or physical, and what's going to be different for what you put out on the field this year?
Yeah, just my pass rush identity. Just continue to learn that and put my best foot forward when it comes to being a three-down player.
All right, thanks, man. That is Femi Oladejo for the first time since locker room cleanout day. Robert, we were talking earlier about the idea that we saw him in Week 6 and then we never saw him again. And again, a leg fracture is a serious injury, and obviously the rehabilitation process difficult. But they did clear him to return. They never activated him off injured reserve. It was a weird last month for Femi, so I'm sure it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to evaluate him because I just don't know how much skill a player can actually have when you've missed so much football.
Well,
your microphone's not on.
Well, it would help if it was turned up, wouldn't it? You know why they call him Femi, right?
Why?
Because you may not always see him, but you are going to Femi. You're going to Femi when I'm out there.
How do we feel about you just turned up my microphone, Lucas?
Well, I think Robert turned up your microphone.
Let's just hit buttons until the buttons emerge.
Yeah, Robert turned up your mic.
Okay, very good.
We were hearing Robert on.
Until you Femi. Nope.
No, try it again.
Where is our engineer?
There we go.
Until you Femi.
Oh, my God.
There we go, baby.
Oh, my God. How do we...
Potato.
I've got a question. If anybody gives you permission.
It's okay. You don't have to cut him today, Kirby. We need him for at least a few more weeks. How do we feel about the nickname Fem? I don't love that. I would not love that if I was Femming.
That's what we call you behind your back.
Yeah, I know it.
When's Fembuck getting here?
Not helping my case with how badly I want a pedicure after I saw all that John Summerall talk.
Well, Dan Orlovsky, the one guy who's like, yeah, I don't think guys should get pedicures. I don't think guys should enjoy things. Shut up. I don't think Josh Allen should enjoy being an MVP, but here you are.
Have you ever had a pedicure?
Of course.
Yes, they're wonderful.
I've been asked not to return to places because of my feet, but I've had a pedicure.
Imagine what those feet look like in Crocs year round, and
I
then
showed
you
them to Buck yesterday.
you were the God.
Look at them dogs.
Free feet on the feed. Oh my God.
Zonly fans.
Zonly fans.
Look at them dogs.
Indeed. Zonly fans indeed. So we have not gotten to your practice observations yet because I wanted Ben's first for obvious reasons.
Of course.
Are we sure his microphone's on?
What musical number?
Hello.
Yeah, okay,
there we
there
go.
we go.
We're back, baby.
Do we have musical comparisons today? What is the way that we approach practice?
No musical chairs or notes or anything like that today. I just kind of watched. I didn't really take any detailed notes because we can't be as detailed. I just kind of focused on effort.
Oh, we can't.
And individuals. I was unaware.
Interesting.
And so are most people we work with. Mitch, I think that we need a clerical rediscovery of something. I don't think that when Mitchell Trubisky tweeted "I love titties," that's what he meant.
Can you say that on FCC Safe Air?
I assume.
You think he meant tutties?
Yes, he meant tutties because he threw a moon ball today.
He did. That's a 60-yard pass to Bryce Oliver.
And it was beautiful, right in the breadbasket.
Yeah.
That's what they needed.
Was that the play of the day?
On offense, yeah. Defense looked sharp today. They definitely got their get back. If you were a linebacker, you got your hand on the ball today. Cedric Gray got his hands on the ball, interception.
Anthony Hill had a pick.
Anthony Hill. I saw it at PBU. I didn't know if he got a pick. James Williams did have a pick.
Teron noted it as a pick.
Okay,
So I'm going off Teron's notes.
So maybe I'm mistaken.
Or it could be an error. We're not sure.
And then kind of just focused on the lesser-known guys and individuals. Again, I watched defensive line practice over there, and I am just smitten by Aaron Whitecotton. The only time that I felt like I was actually an athlete was when I was wrestling, and I would have killed to had someone like that as my wrestling coach.
Do you want to interview him?
Yes.
I feel like he's fascinating.
Yes, we want that crazy person. But the thing is,
he's not like that. I mean,
no, exactly. It's Clark Kent.
He's very
and
calm.
Superman.
He's very calm. He does his laps around the practice field every day. He seems like he's doing his Zen moments, and then he goes out there. I love the way that he starts off his conversation. Everybody's got to dap everybody else up, Lucas. You got to greet your teammates. He says it's a cookout. It's a cookout. It's a family reunion. We're here. We're family. Then we're going to get after everybody's ass. And then they just start bull rushing these poor tackling dummy pads or whatever those are out there on the field, and all hell breaks loose, which is exactly the way that they want to play.
We've got some good individual clips from the defensive line. You can check those out on Zone TV in our shorts section. They will be up later today. There was one of note with Jeffrey Simmons where Jeffrey Simmons destroyed some poor teamer who was holding the bob for him, he dismantled the bob and the teamer.
Was it like a Myles Garrett style?
It was like Superman punched someone in their gut, and both their arms and their legs were outstretched.
Very cartoonish.
They were. It's like they were touching their toes, but they were sitting on their butt. That's how it went. There's also a good rep from that same teamer who knocked JFM off of his axis, to which Aaron Whitecotton responded, "Yeah, get your big ass out of here." And I love that. I love that there's a fire, and there seems to be an emphasis on effort. And a little bit different on the O-line part, where O-line seems like they're focused a little more on technique and less about really pushing and focusing on dominating your man, more so on the smaller pieces. They were working on some hand grip things, some placement, and I like that too. I had some notes on some dudes that we're never, ever going to talk about.
Okay. Why don't you save that for just a second, and let me take a phone call, because apparently we have callers waiting patiently, and I've just been ignoring my phone. 615-737-1045 is the number. How about we go to Dalton in Murfreesboro?
Hey, Buck. Hey, Lucas. Hey, Robert. How y'all doing today?
Hello?
Don't do that.
Is anyone there?
Don't do that.
Can you guys hear him?
We're great,
Hello?
Dalton. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got
Hello?
you.
Dad? Mama? Dad?
What do you got?
I was calling to talk to y'all today. Obviously, y'all know Cam Ward is going into year 2. We're all hoping and praying that he makes a year 2 leap. With all the weapons he has this year, let's just say that he has a year very sort of similar as last. How would y'all feel about us trying to go and get Baker Mayfield, who has done it with everything, with his back against the wall and just the way that he is? How would y'all feel if Cam Ward doesn't do what he's supposed to do this year, which is make a year 2 leap to go get Baker Mayfield in the offseason with him being a free agent? Love y'all. Lucas, you got to tell me that leg workout for that ass. Deuces.
For that ass.
Turn around and show it to him.
That's all God. It's all God, buddy.
It's all pasta is what it is.
He'd be doing his Belgiums in there, or what are they called?
They're not Belgians. What are they called?
Romanian.
Bulgarian.
They're
Bulgarian. Romanian's the straight
Czechoslovakia.
leg.
Let's just go across all of Eastern Europe and see how wrong we can get this.
But damn, he's thick.
Listen, if Cam Ward doesn't work this year, people are going to get fired. Like that's the long and the short of it. Maybe you think that's an extreme position, but I think any conversation around Cam Ward not working in year 2 means that somebody is losing their job, and so that throws everything else into flux. Much less I like Baker Mayfield. I like him as a competitor. I like him as a player. He was an MVP candidate until everybody on that Bucs team got hurt, including him. And God bless him, he played through it. Cam has a lot of the similarity, or a lot of the similar traits, a lot of the similar attitude. The directness, Lucas, that you seem to enjoy from Cam Ward and when you hear him speak. But yeah, if Cam Ward crashes out, this whole thing's getting blown up. Again.
The thing is, like, Baker doesn't have to play for someone other than the Bucs. Baker can perform this year, and the Bucs can sign him, So I feel like there's this assumption, like, oh, man, last year for Baker with the Bucs. Like, when he's a free agent, his own team can sign him, right? Like, I understand that there seems to be a strained relationship there. He feels disrespected, but you know what makes you feel better about feeling disrespected? $55 million a year. So there is also a possibility that Baker is indeed the quarterback of the Bucs next year.
It's possible, for sure. It's possible. Okay, you want to rattle through the players that we're never going to talk about except for today?
All right, Keydrain Callaghan.
Still here.
He has been a joke. We have made fun of his name, of not knowing who he is. What is a key drain? Today he looked very aggressive. He looked like he wishes that they were hitting. And I love to see that out of corners.
He
Guys
was
that can come downhill.
Callaghan.
Get off the microphone.
That was
Go
good.
eat your lunch.
That
No,
was good.
no, it wasn't good. It was
you got to write those down and send them to me. Key Pain. How would you spell that? P-A-I-N?
P-A-Y-N-E.
I would say that he's propane Callaghan.
Well, ask Sanusi Kane how that worked out for him yesterday, because he had an interception and got his ass cut.
Don't do it. Don't do it. The Titans, the whole reason they got rid of him is the Titans are trying to salvage their trade value in Will Levis by getting rid of the guy that keeps making him look bad in practice. Oh, stop picking off Will Levis. No, I'm a baller. That's what I do. That's what you get from me every day. See you later, Sanusi.
You're making us look bad. You're hurting our trade value.
You stupid.
Although, did you see that Levis ball he threw where he just airmailed it over the net? The net.
Let's talk about good stuff. I don't want to.
God bless him.
His body language is awful, also just awful.
I heard 3HL talking about that. Is it that bad?
After everything bad that happens, it's almost like pantomiming a child.
That's who he is his entire
seeing
career,
him
though.
Throw his hands down. And I would like to add a bit of a piece to that, because I feel part of that is not just about his performance, if it went poorly or not. The group that he is working with, offensive line
think
group,
he's expressing disappointment in the players around him, which is not good.
Because they are not giving him a clean opportunity to get looks on these things, or to even get clean reps where he could show that, hey, I am developing. I see it correctly.
You know what?
Like, there are brain fart moments for him, but then the other ones, you would never know if he knows what he's doing or not.
But the coaches will be able to identify that, right? The coaches will be able to identify that. Anyway.
That's what I got.
That's all we got.
All right, back in studio tomorrow.
Well, isn't it kind of Robert Saleh's purview right now?
He's up in the air.
I believe right now the answer is no practice tomorrow. We will be back out here on Monday.
Okay, very good. Well, I will be here on Saturday because the Titans will have practice at some point this weekend. But back in studio tomorrow. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Check out the podcast for Ben Jones and Wan'Dale Robinson and Carnell Tate and I guess Robert Walsh. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.